Hello everyone and welcome back to more Victoria 3 Multiplayer Friday, the most consistent multiplayer stream of Vicky 3. Every week, almost every week, since launch, we're here, we're doing bullshit, we're talking politics, we're talking infrastructure, we're talking anime, we're talking a lot of stuff now with Ruben.
Hello.
Agonia.
Hello.
And Lena.
Hello.
And myself opening cola bottles. And probably being very sleep deprived tomorrow when I'm at the train. Hopefully I'm not going into the wrong train. Oops.
So, Ruben, you wanted to ask me something about an undead anime.
Yeah, which
Well,
one?
I'm calling it the Undead Anime because the ending song was made by, was it Yosabi?
Oh, yeah, we're watching that. That's Monogatari
Yeah.
off-season and monster season. We're literally watching it
Yeah.
right now. That
How
is
far have you gotten?
halfway in. You watched Monogatari, everything?
I've watched it so far. I like the bit that you've gotten up to. I'm not so sure about the next bit because I'm not gonna say anything more. But
No, I mean, like, have you watched all of Monogatari up until off and monster season?
oh, there's more. There's more
Oh.
seasons.
Oh, okay.
This is basically a side story.
This is a literal side story, just so you know.
The annoying thing for me is this is the only season that's available on Crunchyroll, so I need to watch the. That's the annoying thing with Crunchyroll. They'll have like 1 or 2 seasons,
Well,
and like
that's
there'll be like
Crunchyroll
200.
problem and more a market problem of licenses.
I know.
Yeah, also, you know what? The answer to that is very easy. It's yar har har. But yeah,
I know. I need to watch some other ones because it kind of felt a bit disjointing just
Yeah.
watching the new one because there's no
obviously.
background.
Yeah, because like you need
Yeah.
to keep in mind that main character, you kind of spoil yourself probably a bit because it's not only halfway because she's like going through. She went through like 2 absolutely major arcs already. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And one is it's okay. Here's the thing. Just so you know how many seasons you need to watch. So there is Bakemonogatari. That is the first anime, first season. That has multiple, smaller stories in it from, the books because the books are like actually. Yeah. Then there's.
Is it like a series of short stories in a way?
It is a light novel series, a really long.
Oh, okay.
Then you have Kizu Monogatari, Nise Monogatari, Neko Monogatari Kuro, Neko Monogatari Shiro, Kabuki Monogatari, Hana Monogatari, Otori Monogatari, Oni Monogatari, Koi Monogatari, Tsuki Monogatari, Koyomi Monogatari, Ovari Monogatari, Ovari Monogatari,
The second.
Soku Uvari Monogatari, and now you have Monogatari, and there's also I think Hana. No, not Hana. And Hana was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then now they're doing off and monster season, which are like because
And in between, there's still 3 movies.
yeah, don't watch the movies first.
Yeah, they really should have like put something on Crunchyroll saying like, "Hey,
That would be
this
nice.
is like halfway through." For random people like just starting this. Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't expect you to go into that because like for us right now, it's you know what? Honestly, I can only recommend it. That thing is like that was the shit back in 2000 around 2000. Yeah, 2006 to 10. That was the thing. Like I watched that during school. I
Ooh.
like we watched that when we got together. This is like one of the anime we like literally bonded over back in the day.
Should we start?
Yeah, we should start definitely. That is like. It is a really old anime, and it's very fascinating because, as you probably saw, it is. I think this probably makes it even harder to get into to a big degree because everything is based on each other. Like the characters are very progressional. Ugh.
It's like reference this, and I've got me with no background, and it's just like, what?
Yeah, but also you need to keep in mind this story is like first of all, the surreal art style is intentional because
okay.
it is about the fact that you're not seeing a world like it's doing the it's basically doing the unreliable narrator in visual form, because you're seeing always everything through through the eyes of one person. So everything you see, visually.
In the Orphan Monster story is basically just an impressionist perspective of how Nadeko sees the world.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in all the other seasons, you see shit through the eyes of, for example, the main protagonist Koyumi Araragi, which is like, yeah, it's one of those series that it can become very uncomfortable because it is very blunt with the emotional experiences of teenagers. Very fucking blunt. Is it?
Yeah, that kind of made a bit more. I figured that out about halfway through. It's like, what the heck is going on?
And also, they just mostly only talk, do a lot of puns, like a lot of Japanese wordplay actually. So there probably are a lot of jokes that you will not get. Like, for example, there was this one
with subtitles.
No, even because you didn't watch the series. Like, for example, there was this one moment where the how's it called? They showed like a car sign where it said Kamimamita, and that is okay. That is a fucking layered joke because the character it references to always said Kamimashita or Kami something in the like I bit my tongue or I flopped or something because she always spelled the main protagonist's name wrong. It's a running joke, that it was always changed, but also now it's also a joke on Kami God because they were talking about getting God, which is her now. It's one hell of a wild thing. Like it is also like a big deconstruction of like a lot of like the irony is the story is written as well. This is just a very typical monster story, like with the similar setup to the typical harem stories, but also not.
Because it's not a harem.
Because it's not a harem. Like, oh yeah, the protagonist has a lot of female friends, but like he's in a relationship since the second episode. And like an actual really committed relationship. It's one of those relationships we talked about where I'm like, yeah, I know people are like, there are some people who are weird about them, but like, they're one of those, relationships like, yeah, those two just fit together. They're like, they make sense, They're really good. Did I have a slight crush on his girlfriend though when I grew up? Yes.
Nine, gay, what the heck? What the heck is
gay,
that?
Gay on the Tsundere girl, oops.
Shock and horror.
Oh no, but what did I do? A girl that kind of imitated her I got as my girlfriend? What? No. Am I that predictable and simple? Maybe. What I want to say is, there are a lot of lesbians out there that say, "Oh, I love Toxic Yuri," but would shy away at the first sign of any girlfriend making any kind of problems. I live Toxic Yuri. I slurped Toxic Yuri. I drink it. I live off of it. You are not on my level. We are not the same.
Yeah, hopefully they're not the same.
Oh my god, Nai cloned herself.
Then we're back to off season.
Yeah, I would definitely fucking hate myself. Also, yeah, local Shikigami made everything worse. Also, can we just mention for 1 second? Nadeko reacted very heterosexually to that.
Is this a /S or is this actual like?
It's a /S.
It's a /S.
/S. Okay.
She reacted very heterosexually to Yotsugi being like, I actually kind of like you. And she's like, oh my god, are you hitting up? Do you want to steal me away? Girl, you're gay as showing. Which is like, honestly, I did not expect that they're actually going for that, but like, Nadeko being a repressed lesbian here, that actually tracks very fucking well with her. That tracks insanely well with her, considering we had one scene. I just remembered that in the previous in the previous shows where she actually finds like an erotic magazine and looks at girls, and she's not like, oh no, she's like, oh no.
Oh, it's just like the dungeon meshy scene, with the.
I don't know. We
Fallon.
haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
You haven't watched it yet?
Okay,
Oh
listen,
my god,
listen,
you guys
listen.
need to watch
This
it.
is because Netflix is hardly available for us.
So we wanted to
Oh,
wait
just
till
sail
it's...
the high seas.
Yeah, that's why we wanted to wait till it's done so that we can just binge it.
And yeah,
But
now
it's done.
Good.
Yeah, but the thing is,
done.
I will
Yeah.
I will watch it. I will watch some Netflix when I'm back tomorrow at my dad's. So when I'm
Okay,
back, we can watch it here. We can just binge it, and then maybe next Friday we can talk about it. But
Yeah,
so
there's
far,
a scene that goes, oh no, in a good way.
yeah, it's like
You will like it.
it's just like
If you haven't seen the memes already.
probably, but well. But yeah, Nadeko was like, she's like, just to be clear, if you like Nadeko in in off season, be prepared because she's intentionally written to be really unlikable in the first seasons. It didn't stop people from liking her, which is like the weirdest fucking shit ever. But I guess when
He's the ice cream girl, right?
No, that Yotsugi is the one that ate
The
ice
egg girl.
cream. Egg girl is the sister.
That's Suhiki.
Suhiki.
I don't know how to
Like
pronounce
terrible names.
it. But she's the one with the shortest hair.
The
It's
short
not-
hair that
Oh,
draws.
okay. Oh, her, yeah.
Who was
yeah.
everything about. Yeah, Nadeko was intentionally written to be like actually unappealing because her whole thing was that she gets introduced and everyone is like, oh look, she's just this cute and shy girl, and but in reality she's like really fucking what's it called, hollow to a big degree, but for a lot of reasons also and then when you just realize what she's doing, you just really start hating her because good lord, you're just such a shitty person to a degree because of your whole coping thing, and then it just escalates for her.
Yeah, then she becomes an actually likable character.
Because that's the whole arc that she's currently going through. She never really had a personality, and she's kind of has to face who she was and who she will become.
That puts it. That makes the series make a lot more sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, yes. I need to point out, yes, it's technically high schoolers, teenagers, but Monogatari is actually really good because they're way more fleshed out and than just because again the whole thing is written as this idea of it's a generic quote unquote harem. He just keeps meeting girls that like him, but it's also not. But also you have very standardized tropes who then get subverted. Like one of the most interesting things is, for example, there's this his girlfriend Senjogahara Hitagi was basically just described as being a very generic schoolgirl in the book. The whole point was that she was generic. But then, the longer you start to, the longer it goes, the more you start to learn about her, the more you're like, oh, that's actually a really layered character. She's not just that, The whole series is about the very personal, intimate relationships of characters and finding out how they run. Also, hey, Livingston, honestly, really excited for patch 1.8.
I saw. Yeah. Did you read the latest dev diary about
Yes.
the political movement?
Political movement thing
Yes.
is holy shit, thank you so
I've heard
much.
about it. I still can't fully imagine how it will look in practice, but I hope it will be great.
I think that it's going to change things so much. It's going to make it 'cause I have a single player save as Buganda, where in a couple decades I managed.
Sorry.
Sorry, Agonia just has the Karen mass immigration.
Oh no! Oh no!
God.
Shut down the urban centers. No more shopping. But
Capital
Yeah,
Army
like,
exploit. What is that actually?
oh yeah, that one.
Oh.
Yeah,
That one.
Um,
yeah. I use that a lot in the single player run as well because the
Well, it's
like I said, I was gonna say. Sorry, go ahead.
It's technically not an exploit, it's just how the system works.
Yeah, but it is kind of exploity right now that it goes by state and not by you can have your entire population rising up against you, but if your only military is in the capital, then your
Yeah,
military
it's-
is forever 100% loyal. That's kind of it is gamey and cheesy.
Yeah,
And-
like the idea that you actually have to tend to the generals that they stay loyal to
Yeah.
you is good.
Yeah, that's a
The
better
officers.
system.
But also,
Yeah.
as like when you pointed out the first thing, you know what that does? You know what it does? It nerfs the landlords so
Yay.
landowners so fucking hard because if you
Yeah.
stack your military with army generals and they are on your side, well, the landowners can do shit. They can do
Yeah.
jack shit.
Yeah. Like the whole thing is like in that run, like Buganda starts as Buganda, and within a couple decades, I managed to just force through like abolition of serfdom, abolition of slavery, like all sorts of modernizing, liberalizing reforms, often against the will of the people. I had like several civil wars that were complete pushovers because again the capital army exploit, and I'm now like technologically way behind, but I'm still in a very extremely strong position for starting as Buganda. And that's going to be so much harder because you can't just force through we're going to abolish slavery now whether you like it or not. Like that is going to be so much harder.
but
That is
also-
I think they'll be good.
Also, that's might just become easier the legal way because like as you said, you basically just stockpiled your army on the capital and then you just fought off everyone else. But ironically, if you think about it, the fact that now movements, political movements, also give you stuff to give you extra bonuses to actually getting laws through, that will make it a lot easier because before that was just like we want this law and you could technically do it, but your current government is not down with it. So oops, it's like a 2% roll, better luck next time. But if you have like a substantial movement, that will be more efficient now. That is
I had
good. That's
I
actually
had that
really
too. I tried to reform the professional army. I had to roll on professional army like three times at least before it actually went through because the enactment chance was so low, despite the fact that like my military wanted it. Basically, like nobody wanted to stay on peasant levies except the landlords but fuck the landlords. But
Yeah.
it was annoying to having to keep rolling over and over again.
Yeah,
And
the
it-
RNG
that's-
part
that's-
is
yeah.
the worst part of the system, but it's also
Yeah.
hard to do it any other way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I do like the way the system works. It's fine. It could be better, but it's better than what it was.
Right now, I would say political movement and like they want to rework civil war. So I'm like looking cautiously forward to that. In general, I would just say there is it's kind of interesting that it's a good change. I would say it's a good addition.
Yeah, and it's also going to it will nerf the landlords, but at the same time, it'll also make it a bit harder to chip away at their support because one of the things, if you start as an absolute monarchy or like as any monarchy that doesn't have elections, you can just like it will cause problems, but you can just kick the landlords out of government and work on dismantling them that way, and that's like a shortcut to speeding through reforms, and it will cause problems, but it's something you can. American aristocratic revolt.
Yeah, but like
Confederate States, yeah, but like that's also going to be more difficult now with now that there's actual like passive movement that supports that have like a base support. Like you can't just be rid of the landowners in 20 years or so. They will keep being an issue.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but also,
It's going to make the game harder in many ways, but I do like it.
It will be easier to join landowner buildings, and that will definitely help. Ramirez, yes, I have Discord. It's usually for, we keep this invite only for, regular viewers and such that you can join then. But yeah. It 1.8 so far really sounds good. My one my one fear that happens is that I currently have is actually kind of simple. See, they basically shoved two patches into one. One bug fixing and optimization patch, and one feature patch. I get it, they wanted to get the features out in 2024. Good, I don't have a problem. The features so far sound amazing. They're like, yes, this feels like like this extra coat of paint, Sphere of Influence actually needed desperately to just flow better. And it kind of sucks that it comes now, not with Sphere of Influence, but people will ignore it now, but it's gonna be good. Oh, damn it. The thing is just, how shitty will the performance be? Better late than never.
I think they simplified lots of stuff, so I believe it will not necessarily impact performance much.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe it even improves performance.
It could, you know what? I hope that's the case. I just have how political movements, are generated and run now. I'm like, it's just this kind of feeling that they might overlook some part that might create a lot of problems.
I mean, that's what usually happens anyway.
You made us to keep armed forces loyalists as close to 1% as possible. Honestly, yeah.
But I mean, what do the armed forces want except professional army? Right now, it's incredibly easy to keep them happy.
Yeah, that is also kind of realistic. Like, if you have the support of the military, you can be a lot more authoritarian.
Which
That's
is
just kind of accurate. So
just
It's true.
Private army, secret police, happy. We make the ideal GDR basically.
yeah. Also, the National Guard as well. The National Guard or Secret Police, depending.
Yeah. By the way, Norik, welcome to chat. Oh, everyone, we have railways. We can build the choo-choos. Everyone.
But it takes so long to build the trains.
But it's choo-choos.
Yeah.
That's the goal of the game. The world starts with no choo-choos, and you have to.
I'm still waiting to build them because they're so slow to build.
If they need to do something, I think just because of all the new buildings you need to build and more infrastructure usage of construction sectors, is just give baseline construction sectors a bit more build power. Just a tiny
bit.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
please,
they
please.
definitely need to look at the core to a degree, and also I think they need to really think about some catch-up mechanics for smaller countries, because it's a bit too easy to just let the big ones just run ahead and just win.
I mean, it makes sense, but still.
Fair. I'm not disagreeing there. It's just
It's a bit too
bit too slow at the beginning. If you're
and with the construction sectors, like low construction capacity has been the bane of basically every run.
Yeah,
it's so expensive. Like, construction goods are so massively expensive.
Yeah, I guess the game already slowed down a lot. Honestly, I think it's still fine. They had worse slowdowns in games. Crusader Kings 3. God, Crusader Kings 3 tech is just painful. It's just painful, I'm sorry. But yeah, honestly, I get it. I think Wiki 3 right now is probably, it's the best supported, Paradox game I've been witnessing so far, because I know they don't shit out expansions, on mass like others. So far, most expansions are here's one nice new mechanic, here's mostly flavor stuff for countries. You know what? They should do that. I would be fine if they do 2 to 3 flavor packs maybe, and one big expansion per year. I'm fine with that. The thing is just, holy shit, there's just been here's a random here's this one random update where we just completely overhaul a core part of the game, and you're like, oh, Like, remember how 1.5 hit and suddenly everything worked differently?
Yeah, 1.5 was like a lot of improvements, but it made that's I think that was the update that made everything like really slow.
Yeah, that was that. And then they, patched it a lot, and Sphere of Influence came, and I think 1.8 feels more like, again, stuff will be faster. I think the political movements will be much more interesting. Also, what I really love is the fact that, now interest groups will be actually influenced by the movements associated to them, so they are more consistent. Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
such a good change, honestly. Like, thank you. I mean, didn't they also say they want to rework how racism works?
Yeah, racism
I mean-
rework is also coming.
You know what? I know it's not. It's called the discrimination rework, but like,
It will
honestly,
never not be funny.
racism rework is just way funnier to say because it's also technically true.
Yeah.
We've reworked fundamentally how racism works. Cool paradox. That is the most normal paradox thing to say in patch notes. The racism rework TM will either lead to less atrocities or more atrocity.
I mean, yes.
That probably depends heavily on
In
the
and out of the game.
Yeah. What?
Both in and out of the game.
Yes. Yeah, it's like, oh, what did the racism rework do to you? You say yes. Okay.
Sector. It's one other thing, just kind of sort of venting frustration a little with the way construction works is because you don't have generally you'll have like 50% allocation to the private construction queue. All right, fine. You only have a private construction queue if you have construction sectors. You start with 10 base construction. Like on wood frame buildings, you get 2 construction for a construction sector. On iron frame buildings, you get 5. I currently have 1 construction sector on iron frame building. It is very expensive. I have 15 construction, so it means my government construction progresses at 7.5 per week. If I delete my construction sectors, I would progress at 10 per week. I'm currently building a second one, which is going to cause me to like start losing money again with just to get back up to 10 per week to like parity with having no construction sectors at all. Something about that seems a bit off. It's like the sort of a welfare trap situation kind of where you're doing well enough that you get construction sectors, but you do that and your construction just gets worse. You actually need to spend a lot more money just to get back up to where you were without having construction sectors, and that. I think that could also be maybe needs to be addressed, like because that's also a thing that makes it really, as a smaller, poorer country, makes it really difficult to kind of get started.
Yeah.
That's a big hurdle to overcome.
Yeah, that's also the reason why you kind of want lots of small subjects in the beginning. But yeah,
The Confederates are a thing. While I think Mexico is no.
Yeah, Mexico supports the Confederates.
Mexico supports the Confederates. Okay.
well, Mexico wants the one state that didn't.
Yeah.
Go to the
I think
Confederates
Rio Grande
bank.
might be go. Oh god. That is actually an ally where, like, I don't know, they might. Yeah, they're ruining this.
Yeah, Mexico doesn't even have a claim.
The Confederacy wins, I guess. Also, by the way, everyone, the USA, and we didn't do that. It's called the Wall Street Pact. They tried to invade.
Cursed.
They tried to invade England for Wales. Twice.
That's AI for you. This is what AI does.
Yeah,
It's just.
This is the future.
kind of.
I've not been able to work out how to use mandates. All of my mandates are level 1 and there's no option to go up to level 2.
You need cohesion for that.
Yes. basically you need subjects in your power block and cohesion. The stronger your subjects, the more they contribute towards mandates.
In general, like every power block has its own requirements for cohesion.
Yeah, that's a big thing, but that is generally how it works. And then you can actually, spend, if you get a mandate point, that to on a new mandate or a higher version of the mandate you have. So,
Also, you just need to find a nice guy, take him out to dinner, and there's your mandate.
you know what? I needed a second for that. No.
All going to die.
Yeah, but... Oh yeah, Hohenzollern annexed Baden if you wanted to see some parts of Bavaria. Just some cursed shit going on right now. I have an option to use level 2. I have 9 mandates, but all 4 principles are filled. I'm all limited to level 1. Unsure what the problem is then.
Normally you click on the level 1 mandate, find it in the list, and then you can upgrade it there, but yeah. Not quite sure.
Probably Zep would understand that better.
He might have heard about the bug.
Might. If it's a bug.
Set's already got a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. See though.
What?
Zep is ill.
He's already caught a bug because he's ill.
Oh.
It's a terrible dad joke.
I am okay. Should I actually take the train tomorrow? I think that's actually a bad idea.
Is there such a thing as mom jokes?
I don't know. I guess I'm doing dad jokes mostly, if any.
No, I mean more just in general. Is there such a thing as a mom joke? So like dad jokes are a thing.
Depends.
Why do we gender joke?
Okay, here's the thing.
That's the next question,
I mean,
right?
Here's the thing. If I can say one thing, yes, should we gender jokes? Not really. We can just say that, for example, on average, dads tend to make very bad puns. Why? I don't know. If I would say if there's like anything that mothers do as a joke, it's usually a variety of "I drink the pain away."
Is it live, laugh, love?
Actually, it's "be drunk, don't care."
I don't get that. I mean, I guess like
I don't get it either. And I probably would have to ask my mother because like she like I know maybe I'm wrong, but from what I in comparison, she got a husband that doesn't suck. So it's kind of weird that she still does those jokes.
Yeah.
Is it a coping mechanism? It's a coping mechanism.
It's I mean, honestly, for a lot of them, probably is a coping mechanism. Like, holy shit. Let me just, like, the moment I realized how unusual some stuff in my family was growing up, like, for example, my dad just did the laundry. He just did it on his own. He liked doing it. He still likes
Wait,
doing
you guys don't like doing the laundry? Wait, people don't like doing the laundry?
Oh,
I mean,
that's just doing the laundry, ironing shirts and shit. Let me
okay, I
tell
don't
you-
like ironing, but
Yeah, there's like
Just
a lot
beeping.
of there are a lot of
household chores.
I
That's
don't think I've ever really met another family where, you know, the father in that family did that. Just did it. Just didn't happen. Or, you know, generally just doing household stuff a lot. You know, without being asked or shit. He just did a lot. But there was stuff that my mom insisted on doing because, how should I put it the best way? She's kind of like, you know, she wants to be like, make sure that shit was being done. That was more her control side. But, yeah. No, my dad just helped all over the... I mean, he didn't cook a lot because, as he said himself, he can't cook for shit. You know, he did.
That's
you know,
understandable.
He did when he needed to. You know, he was like the things he could do. Then it was like, yeah, very simple spaghetti.
Was it more like sharing the workload in terms of the
Yeah.
household chores and such?
They just did that. There was no hard stuff to do or something. It's like they just always did that. So it's like, yeah. In hindsight, it's always kind of weird to think about that. Yeah, the longer I live, the more I realize, no, not every family is like that. You'd think they are, but no.
Well, actually, yeah, there's been studies in this, and still women do like the vast majority, on average. Of course, this is average over like entire population, but majority of like the household chores and
Yeah.
workload. Still,
I
even
think
today.
that is probably to the degree because a lot of the, okay, I have to say, what I'm going to say now is, it's just like my best guess, basically. I'm no licensed psychologist, or, you know, social analyst. I could have become that. That's like, was actually what was recommended to me I should study. But, again, I don't have like a PhD. The only person in this stream that might have a PhD in the future time is not me.
And they're not even a relevant.
And not in the relevant topic, no.
So,
The thing is, especially if you look how, you know, I mean, you know, the whole jokes about drinking the pain away and stuff. There are a lot who just accept that this is the way things have to run. That they don't find better, that they don't get better. Obviously, you know, is that really the case? Probably not. But, there is like a really big generational bitterness, I would say, that gets also handed down in the sense of, yeah, that's just how it has to be. Because to a degree, yes, probably, you know, some, like most mothers probably want their children to have a happy life. But also they probably don't want really to be confronted with the fact that their children might have a better life. And there's just a lot of social structures that are so ingrained that they don't even get challenged. Like, again, there's a personal thing that ironically happened. As told, like, my family situation, I would say, ironically, they are comparatively really progressive. Like, my dad just helps out in the household. He just does that because he's like, yeah, obviously I do that. He's just doing that, you know. He thinks that's just the right thing to do.
I mean, it is the right thing to do.
Similarly, my grandpa also did that. Probably a bit less, but that is also to the degree because, like, yeah, my grandma can be weird. She's more like, don't do that. You do it wrong. I'm doing it. Yeah, but you know, they are also that just to be clear, they're also that generation that still kind of got, you know, the last kind of horrors of the, war, and grandma fled from the GDR, so they definitely not a normal childhood for both of them, I would say. But still. And now, when I then, the last time I was at my parents', they talked about my sister. And how she just is basically just doing everything for her husband, who does almost nothing in the household. Or, that she, literally lies to him how long it takes to, take care of her horses. So she just has more time away from him.
That's not good.
Yeah, and
Richard.
that is not good, right?
Not a healthy relationship, no.
Yeah, and here's the thing. He's not a bad guy, okay? I met him a few times. I talked to him. He's not a bad guy. But the thing that is just is happening. It's just the weirdest part for me is you can just talk. There's a bunch of stuff, to a degree that, yes, technically I'm also doing the majority of work in this household. There's the thing that, our household is a lot smaller, and also it's simply more efficient if I just do it.
You're not wrong.
Just to be clear, Agonia wants to help, but then she's then I'm yeah, you can wash the dishes, and she's what should I do? And well, you just take, the sponge, and no. The sponge is weird texture, I don't want to touch it. And then at that point I'm yeah, I guess I'm doing it.
I can, I just need some time. Okay?
I know.
I hate sponges with a passion.
What if you use the rubber gloves? Is it less bad, or?
Rubber gloves are less bad. That's why we have
Okay.
them, because they want to help. But every time I went to help, she's always no, I already done it. And it's okay.
Yeah, sorry. It's just I'm taking out the vacuum, and then the it's just vacuumed really quickly. Everything is done. It's just I can just do it very, very fast. It's more there's not much to do, so I just do it in an instant. Oops, sorry, it's done.
Yeah.
That's more our problem here. Yeah, it's to a degree, I wonder, why are they not talking about that? But, again, the only thing I can really end on is there are just a lot of, especially women out there, who just think this is how it's supposed to work.
Well, then there's also the thing of two people who have different standards of what clean means. Also a thing.
That is a thing.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
But again, you know what the solution to all of this is?
Robots.
Communication.
Yes, robots.
Also robots.
We need robots.
Robots.
Yeah, that everyone gets Android girls, so you can have someone who cleans the house and is part of the polycule.
Remember the one toilet advertisement where they're oh, we just used this, you don't need an over-engineered robot. I'm fuck no, I want the robot! What are you talking about? Do you know what the thing could do?
Yeah, we need actual proper robots to do all the boring, shitty stuff, not AI that actually takes people's jobs.
Well, that's
But
also...
that's the bad thing about AI right now.
That's technically also a job, cleaning stuff.
Yeah. But the shitty jobs, let's put it like this.
Yeah,
which would
that's what I
also
mean.
kind of be bad if we kind of force it onto robot. I don't like that.
As long as robots don't become sentient and have emotions and shit, I'm fine. When they
I
get
want to date a robot girl.
Yeah, when they got emotions that you can date them, and in that sense, then they need citizenship.
Yeah. No, it's just kind of wild because, yeah, the answer to everything of that would be talking. Just fucking talk.
Yeah.
But
Why?
talking's difficult.
Because here's the thing. I know that my dad, for example, is a lot less tidy than my mother. And they both have their own problems. I fucking know that. I just literally had it the last time when I was there because... So, for everyone new to the channel, basically tomorrow I will, drive down again, help my dad renovate. And basically we had to, last time I was there, we basically moved everything from one room into another room. So that we can, next time when I'm down there, so tomorrow or the day after, we can remove the carpet floor, which is gonna be fun. Like, and then the carpet is going off. It's really fun, honestly.
You know what would be nice? If you have, like me, I had a revolution about tenant farmers. Okay?
Yeah? Where is that coming from?
Just saying. If you crush that revolution, why don't I just get the law?
Yeah, that should definitely be a thing.
But then again, you could then also, like, on purpose trigger revolutions to pass laws faster.
Yeah. Oh wow. But yeah, one of the things is that, for example, ironically, my mother really... She collects a lot, okay? Meanwhile, my dad was just like, all the time, just fucking throw shit away finally. But they're talking, at least about it. And that has other problems. I guess one of the reasons I have to go down to him and help him again is the fact that I just kind of told him that, you know what, you only get shit done when I'm here. Which is true.
So basically you offered to help.
Yeah. I mean, I offered him to help already, like, last year. So, in the beginning of this year, I was there and, we did one room. So, that was a lot of work. And then that just kind of didn't happen anymore because, yeah, like one room and the hallway, done, no problem. And then it stagnated, and then, I just talked to that, like, just, fuck it, I come down and I just at least help you clean that one room. And now he's like, you know what, come down again, we just finished that room now. Like, as he said himself, he can probably finish it up even if I'm not there. This just like, if the carpet is out and like the first, wooden floor tiles are laid down, it's fine. He just... So I kind of think my dad has a bit of ADHD, honestly. He's just not doing shit when I'm not going after him, like, do it finally.
Isn't that quite a common thing in like older like generations before, where like ADHD wasn't properly like diagnosed or anything like that? So
undiagnosed, yeah. Like, he has sometimes just weird time schedules. Like, honestly, remembering how my mom told me that he, just sometimes used to do things like in the last minute.
Oh, mood.
Yeah. And then we had this one time a very funny moment where it was, he told me, yeah, come on, we're going to clean the garage roof. So I stood there with like a pressure washer on that roof, dirty, and my mom came and just looked at us and was like, what are you doing here? And he was like, we're cleaning the garage roof. And she just looked at him, looked at me, and like literally said at me, you should have known better and warned him. I was like, I couldn't. And she's like, your mother's birthday is in 3 hours. No, your father's birthday is in 3 hours. Because it was his dad's birthday and we were supposed to be there in 3 hours. We had to drive 1.5 hours. My dad was like, yeah, we were gonna clean that roof now. Time management from hell. God. Yeah. Like, fun little stories, I suppose, but yeah, no. Again, to go back to the topic, my mom literally, like when we talked, she was literally like, why is my sister like that? Because she herself was like, holy shit, I thought I raised you better. Like, she's like, she doesn't hate the guy, but she's also like, you obviously don't communicate and this is a problem. Didn't you learn shit? And personally, I also don't get it. I also just thought, I didn't expect that from her. But it's like, it just keeps happening, you know? It just keeps happening. It's definitely this whole cycle of, I don't deserve more. This is just how it's supposed to be to a degree, and like,
It's weird, right?
it's weird. You know what? I'm gonna make like probably a pretty exaggerated comparison, but you know how this kind of feels like? This feels a bit like all these, isekais, where, the protagonist owns slave, but, he's one of the good slave owners. And it's like, basically you're doing all the, housewife stuff and basically just really, really get booted down by the patriarchy, but, you got a nice guy as a husband, so it's okay. It just has this slight feeling of that, just slightly bit. Talking big sociology again. That's just, again, everyone, that's just a normal thing on this stream.
Yeah, why aren't you a sociologist or psychologist?
That's a good question, right?
I never went to university for that.
True.
I actually got a recommendation for that. So
You should. I mean, you can always go to uni someday.
you want me to be even more insufferable? Like,
Can you?
okay, here's the thing.
She can.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look, so fun fact, by the way. It's not that I'm not into those topics. Again, I have like literally the book of basic psychology, like the basic psychology handbook here, and it's a big and heavy book, I tell you. And I read that thing, so I know some stuff.
Yay.
Because I did a psychology course back in school, and so.
I mean, you can always get like a grant from the government and stuff like that for studying.
You know what my problem is with that? I like that
Was
stuff.
it just time or?
I like that stuff, but it's not my main interest. I'm
Fair.
insufferable in other ways. Like, again,
You should do economics.
I mean, here's the thing. I think I told you what. So, back in school, we had to like actually pick certain, how is it called? The different subjects like German, English, math, etc. How's that called? Yeah. So basically, they're the classes, and we had to pick a few as our main classes. So basically, the 5 ones I had, mandatory ones were German, one language, but like none of my class wanted to do French, so I could not pick French. So I did English, math, physics, and No, biology. I did for biology. I went for biology. Why did I go for physics? I didn't go for physics. I was like, physics? No, too much math. I do biology. Biology is easy. Biology is just things rotting or things growing. That's easy. I had to do math.
Very
God
sad.
damn it. You couldn't escape the numbers. But there were more fun numbers, honestly. Yeah. So actually, okay. I know we have a rocket scientist here, but like I have to be honest. I cut out physics. I had
I don't blame
biology
you.
and chemistry.
I don't blame you. I really don't blame you.
And when people ask me why did you pick chemistry, I was like, to make bombs.
I mean, to be fair, it's fun making things go poop.
Yes. I didn't learn how to
Only
make
the
bombs.
safe way.
Yes, that's why you need to learn it.
And preferably not for terrorism.
But basically,
Please, please don't.
the big one the big one I picked was
And to be fair, the difference between a terrorist and a freedom fighter isn't big.
it's just who
You're really not
who does it
helping.
to-
I know I'm not helping.
I mean,
Don't worry, it wasn't the plan to help. You know?
Yeah.
I just wanted to be technically correct.
I mean, you're all technically correct, but it's not helping. Sorry, go on.
one of the things is that the big one I picked was again politics and sociology. So I actually, we had to basically write something in that to finish school. I finished with almost full points. I was insufferable. I picked the insufferable course, I picked politics and sociology.
Oh my god, why?
But this is where I
Why?
got my recommendation, because you see, okay, fun. This sounds funny, but I swear this is true. The teacher we had, kinda due to a lot of reasons, one of that school was overqualified. Like he had 2 doctors and a professor. He almost left school. Like he was actually not there, like in the last half of the year, because he was actually just doing work at the university again, where he helped someone out, because to teach at the university they just have like fixed places for that, and you need a professor, and they were like, yeah, can you help us out, we don't have a professor right now. So he did that on the side. And he actually told me I should do that, because I wrote about because my work actually my work resulted in him being angry at another person. Wanna know why? So the thing is, the whole final exams are centralized where I made it. So basically the state makes the whole process, makes the exams, and then it just gets handed out to the schools. So the schools do not do them themselves. And then the rating process is that it's basically your teacher rates it, then it will get sent to to someone else in another school in that state that doesn't know you. It's anonymized, and basically gets rated there again from another person, and then gets sent to a third one who basically only compares both of them and just signs it off that it's true. So basically the second one is usually who gets the rating. Now it's not, the big difference is those are not getting randomized. They usually just take one bulk and send it to another school. So my teacher looked at the results, and the thing was, remember the course was politics and sociology. So you could either write an essay on a topic of international politics or sociology.
Yes.
So the thing is, I got 14 points from 15 points. And my teacher literally came to me and was like, you deserved more than 15 points. That fucking other graduator was just biased to hell and back. because he rated everyone with that picked sociology higher than who to pick politics.
Ugh.
And yeah, for someone with like 2 doctors and a professor in that field, hearing that like, oh no, you deserve more, you should study that shit. It's like, okay, good. Didn't do it. He actually, like, the thing was, it kind of also fell apart. Like, he wanted to actually, it's nice to have a based Wiki 3 streamer. Yeah, I guess. Am I based?
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
We agree.
You're based somewhere.
Yeah, based
Yeah.
on my chair.
Yeah.
Oh god, what have you done?
I think I've lost my... Yeah, there. It's somewhere under my PC. It's fine.
You don't care now anymore.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, but basically he was like, he actually planned on, getting that, chair. And he was like, if you go to that university, I will get you in there, no matter what. He didn't, because the irony was at that same year, they basically fired, the school head at the school. So it's a boarding school, and it's run by like how was it called when people rich people pool money, richer people, quote unquote. It's Stiftung in Germany.
Foundation.
People translate.
Foundation. It's a
It's
foundation.
a foundation.
Yeah, foundation, and they have like a gremium that where people get voted in and such, like also from parents, like they're also parents, and then they basically fired her because she wasn't popular. I don't think she was that bad of a person, but like I can get why everyone was really pissed off with her. And so their whole thing was like, hey, we have this one guy working in our school who's like actually overqualified. Maybe we should actually, get him to, maybe you should, how's it called? Maybe you should just offer him the job. And they did. And what happened was, he's now, the school head. And his first move was to implement more democracy. That students just have a bigger say in what is going to be done at school in terms of, activities, financial stuff, etc. So the next time I came back, everyone's like, yeah, no, what I heard like from ex-roommate, he was like, yeah, it just was really based the last years at school. Extremely chill, like, yeah, that actually kind of makes sense. So, it's definitely good for them. It's good for them. But yeah, it was still funny to hear that. Now the big question is though, what was my essay about?
Like, are we supposed to guess? Or...
Yeah,
Okay.
because it was about international politics.
international.
Just for info, I wrote it in 2013, so it is over 10 years ago.
Iraq War?
No.
Financial crisis?
No.
Russian geopolitics?
Nope.
American geopolitics?
No. I mean, yeah, technically, but no. So it was about the consequences of the Arabian Spring.
Ah.
And I wrote about how, that will result in definitely, in, the countries that will have, that have the revolutions will probably have power struggles and probably even, manifest later probably even more harsher military dictatorships. Or how the existing dictatorships will crack down harder, and the existing and the resulting power vacuums will lead rise to an even bigger, hardline, mostly religious group. Like, oh shit! A few months later, ISIS happened. No shit! I wrote that. It was like, yeah, that will logically happen. And apparently, the guy read it was like, yeah, you know what? Could happen, but that's a stretch. I was right. I was like, ISIS will happen, Syria will happen. Egypt will probably go back to will probably become a military dictatorship. I was right on 3 fucking occasions, and they didn't give me full points. I demand compensation, posthumous. That's the thing. Oh, I like, it's like knowing afterwards you were right. Feels good, but also like. Hey Ryan, how are you doing? Also, because like it's similar to what now happened that basically Helldivers 2 did like a big patch how they say it, and how they want to patch the mentality now, how they want to patch changing and like less nerfing, more actually buffing stuff. And I was like,
We both were.
yeah, I know, but like basically both. I was like from the beginning. They shouldn't nerf shit. They should just buff the stuff that is not, that strong. And now they're doing it. Everyone's like, oh hey, the game is much more fun now, and you have way more diverse builds and more options in playing. And just sit there being like, listen, it's nice to know that I was right all all time long, but like. You could have done that instantly and not like 8 months later. You could have just saved so much time and hassle. Oh yeah, giving up nicotine is probably not that fun, but stay strong. Hope you can get through it.
Mm-hmm. Also saves money.
Yes!
Lots of money.
Always think about the money saving. Like, the more hard cash on hand, the better.
The more cash you save on nicotine, the more you can spend on alcohol.
Exactly.
Wise words. Or video games. Or pornography. Whatever flies your horse, I wanted to say. I know, can't.
But you can't say that because
Float your
horses
boat.
aren't real.
Whatever floats your boat is the.
Yeah, no, it's
Like
whatever
say-
flies your
yeah.
horse. Sorry. Also, everyone who's new, I will fuck that up. This isn't intentional. I will just fuck up sayings. You have to deal with that.
Yes.
If it kills you, watch another stream.
It's generally always like two sayings combined in a way that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but you know what?
And over several languages.
But that's the thing. Whatever flies your horse. That's just it now, okay? Mm-hmm. You have
Yeah,
to live with it.
And if that upsets you, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
I'm years away from playing Forehead to Drill, but ooh, yeah, that doesn't sound that good.
I watched the earlier tonight. I watched the new-ish D&D movie.
Oh, we have.
Oh, was it good?
Also not.
It's really good.
Ooh.
I heard that. Yeah, apparently the D&D movie is actually really good because it's mostly just a fantasy action flick, and it's just a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, you can tell like it's serious when it needs to be serious. It's funny when it needs to be funny, and like I can absolutely see like almost everything that happens is stuff that I can just you can see people at the table just doing like this is what my character would do like this. It's very believable, and like the creatures and the people also look really good. Like. It would be even better seeing it in the big screen. There are some shots, especially where like, okay, yeah, this would have been amazing to see in cinema, but even just
Well,
on TV, it's really cool.
Maybe
seeing,
when we
like-
get a better
yeah,
TV, we can watch it.
Yeah. So I can recommend it. It's good.
That reminds me, we should definitely get Bully some German production company then to make a DSA movie.
Please,
Yeah.
yes.
We can shoot it in the Balkans again, as we always did. Yeah. So, fun fact, there like, okay. So, you know how there's a lot of westerns that were shot in Italy?
And
Because-
Spain, yeah.
because a lot of that there was actually a Western series that was I think they were shot in Yugoslavia. Let me just check. We did one back in the day because it was like a pretty popular series. It's not accurate because it has its indigenous people and shit, and it was written by a German guy who never went there. But they are very popular here, is what I'm saying. They literally have them as theater every single year. How they defeat an oil baron. And then one of the most biggest comedy movies is a parody of that, and I don't know. There's stuff that's like, hey, where did they do that?
It's like the spaghetti westerns are called spaghetti westerns because they were like made by Italians, but most of the actual outside shots were actually filmed in Spain.
Yeah. But yeah, no. The first Winnetou was shot in Yugoslavia. It was a cooperation between German and Yugoslavian production companies. And it looks good. So nowadays it's, I think nowadays Croatia, back then Yugoslavia. So, ironically, Germany, Europe sometimes more America than America.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Well, a bunch of Americans are from Germany historically.
Historically,
That's the funny thing as well. Like there are these days so many Americans claim primarily Anglo ancestry, but it's yeah. I mean, that can I finish? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, these days people claim that, but like mostly it comes from Germany, and even in like the beginning of the 20th century, there were like huge areas of the U.S. where German was like the most spoken language. There were like newspapers in German. There were areas where people just didn't speak English in daily life. And then the First World War happened, and people started to switch off of So like other than that, like it was even in I think the 18th century there was a movement which didn't get accepted for like making German an official language of the United States. So it is
That is a
within
myth.
the realm of Oh
That's
right,
a
yeah.
myth,
I forgot.
actually.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking, is that a myth or is it not? Like,
I
yes,
think it's a
it
myth.
is. Yeah, but the just barely more than 100 years ago, there were more people, like more German people of German descent in America than of English descent, and these days they kind of everybody sort of ignores their German descent.
Yeah. I mean, I just need to point out, who helped them win the Independence War?
France,
And who did France send?
Lafayette,
Not only. So the thing is, you see,
the
back in
Hessians,
the day,
the Hessians.
yeah, they had Hessians, and
Yeah.
also where I'm from, actually, there was how's it called? There was a fortress / garrison, and they sent troops that actually helped defend in the final battle. They held the front line. Because France had again a bunch of France sent a lot of German mercenaries over there, and then a lot of the German mercenaries were just like, I guess we stay. And this is also why later when the first big immigration waves came, a lot of Germans were like, yeah, we already know people over there somehow. There was some contact, so a lot of them moved to the USA.
Also, they're just more Germans than English.
Yeah, I mean, let's also just to point that out, like, there's quite literally Texas has their own German dialect. Like, actually acknowledged German dialect. It's a weird mixture of, like, a lot of, German dialects because they were like, because Texas was a melting pot of like a lot of German cultures, but they kept speaking German, and because there were, like I think 3 major dialects there, those 3 major dialects mixed together to form a new dialect. And that's fascinating. But yeah, then World War One happened. And Belgium happened, and that was not so cash money. It was not cash money at all. You Freund, no. What?
Saxon German.
Let me just check really. Yeah,
Saxon German, Saxony German.
Stupid Saxon Germans.
You right now?
Well, right now in Germany, Prussia and Austria are at war again.
Oh, interesting. It's mainly in they call it Fredericksburg nowadays, but guess how it was called first? Fredericksburg. And there, they basically lived so isolated that they just kept speaking German.
Good for them.
Yeah. Da-da.
And the English and the French stop fighting. It's been going on for years.
I'm actually using that war
It's
right
been going
now.
It's been going on for 800 years. I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah.
Okay, like, basically a lot of shit happened. So, the far right, yes, they gained some wins, but that is also due to agree because, okay, here's the thing. Basically, 2 major parties won. The Social Democrats, the Greens, and the Neoliberals. So, one thing you need to keep in mind. The Neoliberals are fucking everything up. They're like the minority there, and they're blocking every single thing. They're just the pettiest shitheads possible. And they're just like, on full-on, like, do as much damage and benefit the automobile industry as much as possible before they are, just getting kicked out. Then we have the problem that, let's just put it, the long-standing problem that no one has done anything about regulating shit like Twitter or TikTok, because, yeah, the rights are on the rise because, like, a lot of the younger generations are voting them, those that grow up with TikTok unsupervised, that shit. It's still, like, I don't know how it will go out. It's not like, people are turning, like, completely fascist. That's not something I would say will happen. The majority is not that yet. But we also just have the problem that the current conservatives are they're just, pouring oil into the fire. Because the current lead wants to be chancellor by any means possible, and that means, like, any means possible. Ja, das ist Deutsch. Das ist ein deutscher Akzent. Nun jetzt nicht. But now it's I'm from Germany. And it's just like, it's just a really big shit show, because basically, you also keep in mind, one of the reasons the Greens are currently, like, slammed to so much also is just Russian propaganda. They actually analyzed that, and the thing is, Russian propaganda overproportionally targets the Greens here, which makes sense, because you need to keep in mind, it's the one party that really has a hardline stance against Russia. But yeah, like, everyone is kind of incompetent to deal with that part, but is it unsurprising to hear? I guess not. But I don't know how it will go. We still have a time until elections, so I'm not going to worry too much right now. See when we get to that. I just say they should maybe finally start banning that fucking party. It is high noon. And it would legally be easily possible, actually. I wonder what some people say.
Well, it's more like
Let me guess. Also fellow Brits, because we have a bunch of Brits in the community, and one in the chat. Hey, Ruben.
Yeah,
Sucks being on that island, right?
I know.
This will never get old.
It will never get old.
I hope it changes.
Oh, Welsh. Oh, Welsh. God damn, Welsh is great.
Oh,
Okay.
the Welsh are awesome. Love them.
British, but not English.
Honestly,
You're from the islands.
Yeah. I kind of would love to visit Wales once. They have some beautiful rail lines.
Have you there was I don't know if it's still on Netflix. I think I mentioned it a while back as well. But there is a series called Russia's bankrolling me. Oh, very nice.
Oh.
But yeah, there was a series called Hinterland, which is a detective series. But rather than other British English detective series, it is modeled on Scandinavian krimi, like Wallander and such. And it is really cool and interesting. So it is like you know, you have these beautiful landscapes, and the main character being Scandinavian crime, he is just kind of mentally falling apart.
Oh.
It is wonderful. It is really cool. I highly recommend that series.
I mean, ironically, one thing I kind of want to find out is that, okay, so you want to hear one of the weirdest shit that was made by Italy ever? So they made the TV series based on a German book series about Angela Merkel solving crimes in her retirement.
Of course.
Yeah, some German wrote that as like a joke on, classic, Agatha Christie mystery novels. And apparently it got so popular in Italy, they made a whole TV series out of it. Like, she lives now in East Germany and it's like, yeah, this is gonna be a nice retirement. Someone dies. Oh, fuck. I guess I need to investigate now. Like, honestly, I'm kind of interested into seeing how that actually is. It's such a stupid setup. I kind of like it. Oh yeah, that's a bug that happens. That the naval battle icons stack. That happens. That's a known bug. I mean, gladly just a visual bug, but still a bug, Also, by the way, Ida Kirvik and Noria. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Thank you both for the follow. Does help. Sadly, I'm unsure if I will stream on Sunday because again, I'm gone. They have to rip out carpet floor, but we're back on Wednesday, hopefully. But if it's probably gonna be Space Station 14 if you like that. If but yeah, that definitely sounds like a very fun and kind of weird series. I kind of want to look into that. Not much happening, but I guess I'm at least getting my industry up and my. Yeah, that can be a problem if that happens. Okay, honestly, I have to say, the cola is doing jack shit today. I hate it.
For me, doing more
I
than usual.
should get mine.
Wow. How's iron supply? I think my iron supply is wood frame is right now the better thing. Like I would need to build a lot more mines. But like I need a lot more. Know what? Actually, let's build some mines.
You don't need that many though.
Yes, I do.
No.
Something
Yeah,
like
I almost forgot. I need to go get my own Fritz, so I'll be back in a minute.
Ooh.
You know, I could have taken you right away. Yeah.
What?
I couldn't transferred you to me if I wanted to.
Sad. Yeah, I have railways, no worries.
Do you have universities?
Not yet. I will go for universities soon.
You should go faster if you want to ever be free of the Qing.
I try. I will try. I have railways, no worries. The thing is just I don't need railway. Oh, I need railways actually.
Notice
Oops.
that now.
Yeah. Let's go with that, and then I just import shit until I have them. And do I have some coal here? Do I have some coal? No. No coal. Oh, Pyongyang has coal.
You're Korea. You have the rainbow state.
Sparkling.
Yes.
Ich hab jetzt der Fritz.
Almost. Yeah.
Fritz Cola, the best cola.
Yes.
Yeah, if honestly, it's kind of funny that you drink it again. You're like, I'm not a cola drinker. 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, I have also Fritz Cola now.
Like so I wasn't a cola drinker, but I figured I'll just make this part of like my weekly Victoria ritual. And also, like, it's starting to grow on me so much that I think I might also occasionally just drink it, like even when I'm not playing Victoria with you.
Yes, Hamburg
It's a little
supremacy
treat.
wins again.
It is good. It's really good.
Yeah, you should. You know what? You should import it.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm not a cola drinker. Like I told you, but like I like this a lot. I am actually, I'm drinking this for because I enjoy it.
It's like I think it's similar to me with for example chocolate. Like I really don't go well with a lot of chocolate because it's too sweet for me. Like I really don't like milk chocolate. But if I have like a dark chocolate with maybe some nuts in it,
Yeah.
that's actually perfectly balanced. I like the cacao, and like if you actually taste the spices in cola, yeah, that probably tastes a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like dark chocolate, I think is way better than white chocolate.
So much better.
Milk chocolate, you can't go wrong with milk chocolate.
Yeah, and I don't get
But
it
so-
why. I don't get why people are like, oh, but look at this chocolate, look at this. Like, here's the thing, especially when you're from the USA, you like your chocolate tasting like puke.
Hershey's. Yeah. I want to try it someday, but just for the sake of having tried it.
It's not that great.
I mean,
I know.
yeah, it's
Terrible,
because,
but
I know.
not great.
because like the thing is that it's kind of funny. So everyone who wonders what I mean, so the thing is what we're talking about is that back when Hershey's made their first chocolate, basically the owner kind of what.
I'm conquering Qing with 3 units.
Good damn it! What
As you
are
do.
you doing?
I'm doing the age-old strategy of having 3 horses and 3 generals and attacking with reckless advance.
Qing is like, oh, the horsemen are coming again.
Not again.
The horse
Not
nomads
the
are invading China.
Mongolians.
I still want them to transfer Tibet to me, so...
Oh! You're going for it.
Yes!
Why are you owning that? Wait, do you own Persia?
Not yet. I'm friends.
That is. Are you really doing this again? Not yet.
Not yet. I'm in alliance with the English right now. I worked my way up.
Ah, amazing. And you can't give me independence. God damn it.
I'm still struggling.
Not yet, but it will totally happen yet. Yes. That's how she plays a lot of times. So, yeah, the thing is, basically, one of the things is that he wanted to differentiate his chocolate. And the differentiation was that, that's, they test around. And by accident, the guy he hired to, control the milk tampering, I think, made the milk go bad. Sour. Like, that's the thing. Sour milk, it's basically sour milk / slightly spoiled milk. That's, it kind of tastes a bit like vomit because that's, what the enzymes make it taste like. And they use that for the chocolate. So, Hershey's chocolate in USA tastes like vomit. Quite literally on a chemical level. But because that is how Hershey's chocolate tastes, this is quite literally how, even European chocolate has to adapt. And this is why everyone who goes to the USA kinda hates their chocolate, because, again, for us it's like, your shit tastes like vomit. Because it does. It's kinda interesting, honestly.
The way I heard it as well was that it was just it wasn't intentional.
It was not
But-
intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was I may be misremembering. I thought it was something to do with a certain preservative. And then during World War II, Hershey's was the main supplier of chocolate to the U.S. Military for MREs, and so the U.S. troops all had Hershey's chocolate. And when they got back home and they had access to good chocolate that didn't taste like vomit, they were like, it didn't taste right because it wasn't the chocolate that they'd been eating in the field for years. And so they specifically sought out Hershey's chocolate for that taste. And I think Hershey's switched their formula as well, but then the returning troops complained and they wanted the Hershey's chocolate they had in the field, and so they switched back to the puke chocolate because that's what they were used to, and that's why to this day we sell puke chocolate. That's how I remember.
I think the puke chocolate was popular before, because Hershey's was already really big.
Yeah.
So I think the conditioning was already before that, but
Yeah.
World War II probably supercharged it as well. When half of your country is at war and gets supplied by basically just a few brands. It's like, yeah. It's kind of funny to think about how, the supply of rations in the USA was like, on one hand, you had shit like, hey, I think Marlboro or such is like, here, sell cigarettes a lot, make the big bank on getting everyone fucking addicted. But, I get it, they wanted to have tobacco on the field, and cigarettes were, easier to carry than everything else. This was yeah, if you want to get people onto nicotine in the fields, cigarettes are the better option. Still. And you had that and vomit chocolate, and on the other hand, they have the whole thing with, how's it called?
I don't like that I have this much advantage, but I can't take Burma back fast enough. I will lose this war.
But that the how's it called? There was Chef Boyardee. They made basically Italian pasta conserves, and those are actually really good. The guy was actually a restaurant owner that just figured out how to sell his sauce, and so they brought that, and those are actually back in the day those were actually really good in comparison. But yeah, USA, weird nation.
Yeah.
Then again, they bankrolled the whole war. Okay, they bankrolled both wars. Let's just be real here.
Well, they came late to the first one.
they came
So they
like,
did thanks all the
yeah,
First World War.
Yeah,
though.
like yeah, like
Also-
when, in the first one, they I think they accelerated the victory by like maybe a year or so, but Germany was also just not going. Like they were going to lose. The U.S. just
Yeah.
accelerated it.
It
They made a much bigger difference in World War II.
I'd say it depends to a degree because like the big thing that happened was basically like when we talk about the First World War, it's like Russia was out of the war. Like Germany was actually starting to win again in the later years of the war. They were internally had problems, but like basically they were, they basically now secured the breadbaskets of, the East, like Balkans and stuff. They, and, if they had more troops, they could have, put on fronts more strategically. Like, let's not forget, I think the 13th Battle of the Isonzo River, which basically was like, Italy had like 12 battles where they just slowly grinded away millions of troops, and then they lost everything and a lot more in just under 24 hours. Like, remember that happened. Italy was just like, let me just be clear here. If they, if Germany was not at this point of, we would have lost that, they probably could have, spent their resources probably smarter back in the day, and for example, Italy would have been out of the war quite quickly, or it would have become like a new front where, if they wanted to keep them going, France and Britain would have needed to supply them. Then you have to think that, the German troops could have helped the Bulgarian troops in Greece and such, because the thing is, the Bulgarians were actually really fucking good during that war. Like, Bulgaria won so fucking much back in the day. The reason why Romania and Romania, Serbia, etc. went out of the war was because Bulgaria just won. Like, ironically, if you look at the win record of, just battles in general, like, yeah, the Germans won a lot because they sometimes just had superior tactics. The Allies just kind of did grinding, Just a lot of grinding. But like Bulgaria, they won a lot. They were really, like, everyone underestimated Bulgarians, but the Bulgarians really won a lot back in the day. So, they would probably have become quite a big, local power there. So it would definitely be like, if all the veterans from the Russian front, and like you need to keep in mind, most Germans and Austrians were on the Russian front, because that thing was huge. If they were able to, strategically send those two fronts, like, for example, again, Italy, or, the Arabian front, and help out there, because that's the thing. The biggest blow the Germans had was because, the Spring Offensive, it kind of failed. Almost failed. I mean, they almost won it, but it failed. That was their problem. Because their big problem was just like, and they kind of committed to that offensive, which, and I need to point that out, yes, it failed, barely. Because,
You're talking about which World War again?
the First World War.
The first one.
Yes, because the thing is that if they and they only committed to that because of the one reason that the Americans joined the war, and the Americans supplied, the Americans supplied a lot of people, during the war, but now it was like, hey, the Russians are out of the war, French and Brits have lost a fuck ton of people, and the Italians are basically now on the verge of collapse because that really didn't go well. But like the Americans suddenly sent a lot of really fresh troops, military aid, ammunition, etc. And they basically overtook like a lot of fronts where the French, for example, were stretched thin. Suddenly you saw like a lot of offensives from the Americans that really pierced deep because they just had more troops to fill up those ranks that the Allies lost during the war. The thing is, again, you had the Spring Offensive, and the Germans captured a lot of fucking land. Guess why it failed?
The thing with the American offensives as well, like they had a lot of fresh troops, But that was a double-edged sword because they, like the troops that were already on the front, had experience fighting
Yeah.
trench warfare for 3 years. So the Americans, they arrived and they immediately started making all the same mistakes that everybody made in 1914,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so their casualties were disproportionately large because they weren't
Yeah.
used to the realities of trench warfare yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, again, they had a lot of wins because they just had more troops to throw at the front. But yeah, the big problem Germany had was just like they kind of had to commit to the spring offensive faster because again, suddenly the Western Front was not the stalemate that it was all the time, and because that's the thing, if they started if they could have sent their troops more strategically to Italy, Greece, Arabia, and gained wins there, they would have regained oil supply, grain supply, or took like whole nations out of the war. And that would imagine if they kicked not only Russia but Italy out of the war. Yes, that would have probably made it so that at home the situation was probably dire, but like if you started winning all of a sudden, and they started winning to a degree with Russia being out actually, that would definitely be a big morale boost, at least for the final stretch. And also the Brits and French also didn't want to fight anymore. Their upside was just like they suddenly could say like, hey, there's another country coming with thousands of fresh soldiers that we could just throw on the Western Front. But yeah, because the Americans arrived, the Germans were like, yeah, shit, we need to either gain critical land on the Western Front or we're out of the war. And that's what kind of happened because, yeah, they ironically, during the Kaiserschlacht they actually conquered like a whole lot of land. Like, keep in mind, remember the whole Battle of the Isonzo River where the Germans just conquered like kilometers of land in one day? The thing is that that was kind of also happening there. It just had one problem. They couldn't actually get their goals because like that was a lot of land they conquered. But the goals was the railway hubs like Amiens, and they couldn't get Amiens, and that was their problem. If they got Amiens, well, then the French would have a big problem because suddenly the Germans would have owned the railway hubs. So they would have, cut off a lot of parts of the, front line, etc. It's not as, I wouldn't say it's, as clear as the Second World War. Like, I would say the Second World War, Germany would have not won. Period.
They had no chance.
No chance. Like that was just like the moment they basically, I mean, they had to go after Russia because that was just an ideological thing. So the moment they went after them, it would have been, even if the Americans didn't join, it would have been long, it would have been brutal, but they probably wouldn't have won that one. Not in any way, shape or form. But the first, no, they probably could have won that actually. Because in the end, a lot of them were like in really bad shape. And as I said, the Germans were starting to win shit because we don't know how much that would have changed, but like, the squad tactics just were so efficient because they countered trench warfare basically. Like, so how many battles were there actually in Isonzo River? Because yeah, honestly, Isonzo River is just so stupid because like you literally have, how's it called? You basically just had the Italians and Austrians, and they just did this grind fest, and then the Germans came and they just won. Kind of stupid. Yeah, it was 12th battle. And last one is Caporetto, where they just conquered a fuck ton of land. And basically stood in front of Venice. Yeah. yeah, like just so you know how bad the 12th battle actually was for the Italians. They were already grinding themselves down, okay? And pre-Caporetto, so like the battle we're talking about, they had 645,000 losses. And the Austrians were at 450,000, but like, still, it was bad, okay? Then the 12th one came. On the Italian side, and they threw a lot, like a few 100,000 soldiers in there. 13,000 dead, 30,000 wounded, 265,000 to 275,000 captured. $300,000 stragglers, 50,000 deserters, 3,152 artillery pieces, 1,712 mortars, 3,000 machine guns, and 300,000 rifles in losses. And I'll take a wild guess how many the Austrians and Germans lost. 70,000. That's a lot of humans, but like... No, the Italians had a problem. That's why I say, First World War was not so clear-cut. Again, the Italians, they probably would have been kicked out of the war earlier.
Yeah, but that's the Italians.
Like, that thing was just insanely... Just like, it was just insane blow to the Italians. And the Italians were already, like, in a very bad mood because, like, again, the whole thing was they fought the Austrians. What is Austria doing to Russia? They just been invading Russia. Transfer La Haye and Russian war reparations to Sicilies. Yeah, that's just an average thing that happens right now. Don't worry. Austria is swinging around their weight again. That's interesting. They haven't done that since.
Yeah, but this time they bullied Prussia a lot.
Yeah, ironically, we have strong Austria. What have you done here, Austria? They just encircled Montenegro for good measure. What have you created for border guard here? Okay. If you're playing Austria or Prussia, Russia is ironically not that strong. They have,
Russia can be.
Russia can be strong, but like, Russia has not that many general troops, but like a lot of conscripts, but they're not good conscripts. While Austria has, you know, much more of, like, they just have better armies and shit. Again, if you throw two Sicilies in, yeah, they can win that quite easily, actually. Yeah, what have you done, Austria? God damn it. It's funny to see a strong Austria. Yeah, if you play the Central European powers, you can actually take on Russia. Actually, if you have one of the Central European powers on your side, you can take on Russia. If they're not, you know, in some other war. You need to look.
1v1, Prussia can do it even. We need some modifiers and focus a bit on like military tech, but you can beat them.
Oh yeah, sure. That is doable. That's totally doable. Every doesn't lead Russia. Honestly, Russia is insanely stable. Because also a big problem is you can't really carve a lot out of Russia, which is stupid. You should be able to do that. But well, that's that.
There's absolutely going to be a DLC and or major update that's focused on a lot of Russia content.
Probably.
There are so many regions that could, like Ethiopia too. Just you can tell there's going to be an update that adds a bunch of Ethiopia content. So many parts of the world that are in dire need.
Yeah, releasing Siberia is at least one thing. I mean, it's not that useful. Like, you should definitely be able to release more, especially here, in these regions. But, well,
Well, those are comparatively big, which you can release here. But like in the middle of Russia, no.
in the middle, not. You can at least do Ukraine. Well, we will go for Ukraine. Releasing Ukraine
You
again.
can do it if you manage to break free.
You can do it if you manage to break free. What is that?
It's always like I have to do Ukraine because you can't.
Oh, shut up. I try my best to also be able to do Ukraine.
Yes, you try your best.
I don't like that. You are too snarky right now.
Right now,
Usually a lot of times.
Being snarky is my thing
Why do I have to live with you?
because you want to.
Yes, I know, but it's sometimes very exhausting.
I thought you liked Diesel Punk Max, but okay.
Okay, no, that one was just too bad.
I
I'm
know,
sorry. I'm
it was
sorry.
really bad. You don't need to be sorry.
Yes, I like Diesel Punk Max.
Yeah, see, it's also exhausting.
It's not the same.
That's the point.
Carl, why are you so... Someone help me.
well, I would, but I'm still a puppet, so there's not much I can do.
Yeah. Puppets can't do much against exhausting Diesel Punk Max.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like my my highest cost right now is government wages, but my second highest, and not by very far, is diplomatic pacts. Like Spain is, if it wasn't for Spain, I would be able to run like 2 construction sectors on Iron Frame easily. As it stands, I had to delete my last construction sector because I was losing money way too fast. I don't want to like bankrupt myself because that would be bad. So I'm slowly trying to climb up. I am not very good at this game. I enjoy it, but I'm not very good at it.
I mean, that's also important to show sometimes. I think most people also always just do hyper focused stuff.
True.
Like, oh, we can play like really good. Just let the investment pool run right, never collect taxes.
That's the end goal, right?
Yeah. Honestly, that's definitely doable. Let me just think for a second. Should I invest in that, actually? I could go...
No, you should invest in the other thing.
Yeah, definitely the other thing.
Actually upgrade. Okay. I mean... You know what? I kind of just... It's kind of funny to sometimes look on, gaming news and then realize that there's a Funko Pop game coming up that came out. And it's kind of...
I was happy you're not doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, but now you have to. And it's kind of wild to think that, someone made, like, just a really shitty, IP tie-in game. Right after Astrobot launches. That's, like, it is so funny how, you have Astrobot, which is, like, cute little bobblehead bots doing cosplay. and it's like full of joy and good gameplay, and like everyone loves it. Like you have to be the most bitter and cynical person on the planet to not like Astrobot. And even those that were like, yeah, it's technically also just like a big nostalgia fest on look how many games were there. It's also like the nostalgia fest where like there is gonna be something that will hit you. And it will hit you very personally. And you just
I did. Sorry, go ahead. Now you finish.
oh yeah, and then just like a few, like literally like 1 or 2 weeks later, basically the bastardized version of Funko Pops comes out. It's just like nothing shows better what Funko Pops are than their own fucking game in correlation to Astrobot, because the irony is, if they would actually release the Astrobots like amiibos, I would be weak.
Oh, the Confederate States are now a permanent part.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, they've been there for a while.
I was
And
assuming it was
they
still a
surround they surround DC completely.
Nice.
They have a lot of territory.
God damn it, this is amazing. Yeah.
Their GDP isn't even that far behind. It's only 2 million behind the US.
Oh, the French Empire is a constitutional empire with... the Bonapartes are back.
I mean, whether
Okay.
they're not.
Okay. Confederates having Texas is pretty rare. Ironically for us it happens a lot, but yeah, we don't know how a lot of
This
stuff
time
ends.
America was also bigger, as you can see down there.
Yeah. Weird shit happened. But yeah, it's kind of funny that, again, you have Astrobots, like, where, like, if they really start releasing all the Astrobots, like, amiibos, I would be weak. Like, only I would have to scream at me that I already have amiibos, that I didn't even put out of the package, because you can't get them out of the package without damaging the package. Why? They're figures, they should be able to be put back into the package, goddammit, Nintendo, you failed at the fundamentals. But I would be weak. I will not lie, I would be actually weak, and then yeah, just 1 week later or so, basically, the bastardized version of Funko Pop comes out, and it's like, it's just so funny how cynical it is, just laid bare.
Yeah, it was also like I did see that bitter asshole who doesn't like Astrobot. It was kind of infamous on Twitter for a little bit.
Oh, I didn't know there was one. I just was like,
Yeah, it's one of the former lead devs of I think it was Dead Island.
Days
Like
Gone.
who was upset that Sony killed his IP, but then still put a
Days
reference
Gone.
to it in Astrobot. But yeah, Days Gone. Yeah, some game I've never played. But like they then then people are starting to sort of all talk about how this guy has always been an asshole, and he was notorious for being an asshole during the development process as well.
It's so funny. Like, honestly, the irony is, I do want to play Days Gone at some point, because I think it would probably be like an actually really fun game to stream. And I kind of hate the fact that I don't have money while there was a sale. I kind of hate that.
We did other things.
We did other things, but like I want to play because from what I know, it's so funny because the studio is getting soured on their own game just because that guy is such an asshole. Like they were like, oh, so he was like, Sony canceled my project. They were like, dude, we didn't even pitch it, you fucker. We fucking canceled our own project. And they kind of did it because they hated him. They didn't hate the game. They were like, they hated him so much. We're like, no, we don't want to make Days Gone 2. At least not now. And he's just like, it's so funny because like, he was like blaming, it's so wild because like, yeah, you see the obvious script. Like he was like, yeah, the evil publisher did it. And then the studio had to come like, no, we did it. Don't you dare try to grift on something.
Oh, there's Turkmenia.
Yeah, they're like decentralized. I think they start like that.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be nowadays, but I think a while ago they weren't there yet.
No, Herat has to be conquered and then... But maybe they got decolonized? They have to be colonized by Persia, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's kind of funny how that guy was like... He definitely tried doing shit, and it's funny how his studio was like, oh, you fuck. Because, I don't know, was Siphon Filter? Like, the thing is, they could have put Siphon Filter into that in Astrobot. They have weird shit, like, they have really niche shit in Astrobot. Like, stuff I know, but, like, probably a lot of people do not know anymore, you know? Like...
I've seen something about a game. I just it just slipped my mind. Like, it's just some Japanese game that...
you mean the...
the name...
The summer vacation game?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically where you play a child during like the 80s or 70s going on a summer vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's also like a lot of old, you know, PlayStation 1 and 2 RPG games, like, I think, was it, not Lost Galaxy or so, like, it just, there's just obscure shit.
Star Ocean?
What? No, not Star Ocean. That's known.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it, but like, it's like, oh hey, we have a bunch of vampires like Alucard, and like, oh hey, yeah, Alucard, that's not, and like, in the same, I'm like, oh hey, it's Kain from Legacy of Kain. You have fucking Legacy of Kain?
Yeah.
It's like, that is, okay, you need to keep in mind, for everyone who's unknown, Legacy of Kain was one of those games that's like, weird. More people know Soul Reaver that came afterwards.
I have corrupted women.
Nice.
Let me just see. Like, yeah, they have the big ones in there and stuff, but like, yeah, just there was Legacy of Kain, so like, oh yeah, sure. It's fucking Kain from Legacy of Kain. That is just, it's an old top-down, it's great, by the way. It's basically adult Zelda, it's great. With more RPG elements. Like, Legacy of Kain is a great game. But this is one of those, yeah, they know. They know that, or they just had Puppeteer, but like, okay, Puppeteer was a Japan studio game, but like, who remembers Puppeteer? That was a PS3 game. Like, also what I love is, you know, oh, yeah, they obviously had people in there like, you know, for example, Medieval or, you know, Dark Souls, and like, yeah, the top nice. But who does the level start with? Sir Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins. And you just sit there being like, yes! Yes! They knew who to put in there. They knew. Rogue Galaxy. Again, that was the one I was like, hey, wait, I remember that face. Rogue fucking Galaxy. Who remembers Rogue Galaxy? I swear, if they put those out as figurines, people would probably look at it and be like, what's Rogue Galaxy? And then you're just like, PS2 RPG game? A good one, by the way. But like, or like, how in the first Japanese themed level, who do you find? Do you find the ones from like Ghost of Tsushima or something? No, you find the characters from Siren. Sure, again, a Japan studio game, but like, again, who besides us weirdos knows the Siren games again? This is... And you also have the fun part that they... Okay, it's, by the way, the game was called Boku no Natsuya Sumi.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, like, that's just like, yeah, it's... They just have really, like, some really weird ones in there. And yeah, I mean, they also have Raziel from Legacy of Kain, but like, they have Legacy of Kain in there for God. Like, you put Legacy of Kain in there, you will just have like a bunch of weirdos being like, okay, wait, you remembered us. Cool. Like, also just the weird ones, like, do you know Orono Ryuri?
Orono Ryuri.
Yeah. A PlayStation 1 cooking game.
Because I think nobody will understand your very bad Japanese
Yes,
if you
I know.
take several attempts without pausing.
Yeah, it's basically a
I know. It's
yeah.
from JoJo, isn't it?
Okay. What I just realized, apparently the third game was re-released, retitled, and sold as Cook Serve Delicious on Steam.
Wait, what?
Cook Serve
Is it?
Delicious.
No, it's not. I love Cook's Delicious. Is that?
That is-
I thought it was like an indie.
Apparently, Cook Serve Delicious, is actually,
That's news to me. 'Cause I've played.
no, they
Every one of their
drew, but apparently the third game. These audience want the commercial sequel Ore no Ryomi 3, which was retitled and sold as Cook Serve Delicious, independently released for PC and Mac through Steam. Yeah, so ironically, that was apparently a Japan a Japan game from developer Argent on the PS1 in 1999 that had just sequels. I didn't know that. I just looked it up and was like, "Oh, hey, they did what?" Because that's the last name I know.
No. It says here it drew inspiration from it, but it's not like actual
Interesting,
really.
because
Because Cooks Are Delicious was made in Game Maker Studio
but
and
it's
released in 2012.
interesting why the one side says that.
I got that off of Wikipedia, by the way. And like I said, it's something that I've never heard of, and it does make sense. Like it is its own thing, and it doesn't. I can buy the inspiration, absolutely. I had a hard time believing, oh, this is a PS1 game, because the control scheme as well is so very much keyed toward keyboard that yeah.
Oh no! Apparently, it was made in Game Maker, the original one. Okay. I am actually a bit confused right now. But it apparently is the sequel to Ore no Ryomi.
I'm slowly climbing my Liberty Desire again. Slow as fuck, though.
Yeah, apparently. They are based on that, and that's what that's what they reference. Again, you know what I mean with they have the weirdest shit in Astrobot?
I've also seen people say that like the deep irony of like some Sony president or something saying, yeah, we don't have like complaining about how they don't have any real game IPs like Nintendo does, like a week or two before Astrobot came out, which is full of their IPs, their dead IPs.
That was actually ripped a little bit out of context. He didn't say they don't have IPs. He was like, yeah, like we kind of dropped a lot of IPs we always had, and we didn't bring them out and really build them up over time like other publishers did with theirs. Which, yes, like if you look at their history, like the only real long-running series they have right now is Ratchet and Clank, and they kind of stopped really advertising them as something.
And even that, like they had a hiatus of like 6, 8, 10 years, something like a very long.
So his thing was more about oh hey, we don't really have a lot of original IPs that we kept nourishing, so people come into them and stay with them. Like for example, Nintendo does with Mario and stuff. They didn't do that, and on that point he's right. But everyone shouted it to, we don't have IPs, and like yeah, you could say to a degree, you could maybe build up, for example, if you ported the Killzone or especially the Resistance games to PC, you would find a market. It would probably not become the big IP anymore, because like let's just be real here, I don't think there will be like a second life breathed into those IPs just because they're on PC. Maybe they will get a good sequel and shit, but like it's more like the the two ones that are really running now for a long time that actually have consistent fan bases are, well, the only one that actually really runs for a long time that has a consistent fan base that they have is God of War.
Yeah.
And that is only because God of War, they kept doing games and then radically reinvented themselves. That is the one reason, and I think this is why I say, if you actually read his interview of like, we really never did that, and this is a problem. Yes, you could say, you could go back to them, but like, as he also pointed out, you know, if an IP is out there for a long time, you can't really, you know, get it off the ground again. If you haven't tended to it in a while. And that's kind of true. That is a problem. Like, again, yeah, they probably would get people, you know, a few people.
You probably still have old fans, and you might attract some new fans who don't even know that it is an old game, like Monogatari.
Yeah, the room. You had the moment. I can send you a list in which order to watch, by the way.
Okay.
Because just so you know, don't watch the movies first. They're technically coming first when it comes to you know, story. But the first series was made intentionally in a way that you don't know what happens before. Like, they specifically made the movies later. I mean, it was a budget restraint, but they made the best out of a budget restraint.
Also because the anime took lots of liberties, because the light novels are famous for one thing, and that's that there are basically no
descriptions.
Yeah, nearly no description of characters and places.
Yeah. But and then they just made the characters like they are, and then like retroactively, like if you now look at like a book or, you know, anything, Senjugahara, or the manga, Senjugahara looks like that because the anime did that. In the book, she was just described as a schoolgirl, a very average Japanese schoolgirl. Again, this was the point because the whole series is, you know, and I know this is like used a lot, but it's an actual subversion of a lot of light novel genres back in the day, and ironically not isekai, because this is a good series.
Also, isekai wasn't big back then.
That's true.
That was after the fall of the original isekai and before the swamp we have now.
Yeah, the
We
original isekai.
we have like 90% red flags and sometimes a good series.
Yeah, like yeah, we have, but yeah, like the old stuff. Like we have Incredible Crisis. Who remembers that? Do you? I mean, okay, we also had like a lot of they put in a lot of Parappa and Ape Escape. They okay, honestly, here's a personal thing. If Astrobot made me feel one thing, then so Team Asobi definitely wants to do a new Ape Escape game. A new Ape Escape and a new Locoroco game. It feels very much like they want to do that. And please, I know, I get it. Basically, all those old revivals, like, no matter how good they are, like, for example, the Ratchet & Clank game they put out recently was one of the best in decades. I fucking loved that game. And I played the old ones, and I ditched out because they just made, like, so many mediocre ones in the meantime. And then they made, you know, they started doing good ones again. But you saw not many people. But, like, I can guarantee you, if you can bring back one series, like an old running series, and actually make it, you know, one of the big ones, give fucking Ape Escape to Team Asobi. This is one of the few moments where I'm like, they could pull that off. They could make Ape Escape big. It would also be very funny to watch. Fuck, now I'm with Vassal.
Oops.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what the problems? You know what the biggest problems is? It will probably be better now. It will probably be better now, depending. But like, there's no opium wars. Britain was too too caught up with the United States that there are no opium wars. I couldn't get independence. But yeah, I mean, it's just they just know what they did. Also, I love that, you know, they put Raiden in. And his description is Watermelon Buster. That's so great. They don't say the name of the character. They make a description, which is more like you have to know the character to understand the reference. Like, yeah, it's the Watermelon Buster, but then it's like they write below the Nanomachine's son. It's like, yeah, Could they do anything else? No. It's Nanomachine's son. Yeah, they had some really... Yeah. Also, remember Alundra? They had fucking Alundra in there. We were like, wait, we know that. And then we were like, then Agonia was like, is that Alundra? And like, just so you know, Alundra Remaster when? Alundra is fucking good. Like, seriously good. That is one of those, like, Alundra is one of those PlayStation 1 games where, you know, you probably will have some weirdo, like me, tell you, it's so good you have to play it. And you're like, it can't be that good. Then you play it, you're like, oh wait, it was that good.
You want to know a funny thing? Like, I own a PlayStation 1, which I got from a friend in like the 2000s, with a bunch of games. You know the game that I think I probably played the most on the PlayStation 1?
Which one?
Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn.
Oh, great.
It was like I had already played it on PC on the PlayStation. I found it like way like it's not as miserable as it seemed. Like I found it perfectly playable, and it was like, yeah, okay, this is fine. This is good. And I maintain to this day do you know the intro movie that plays when you open the game?
Yes.
You know how it's like you're flipping through the channels, like various TV channels until you get to the main menu. Because of that, I maintain to this day that like playing it on the PlayStation 1 is the most immersive way to play Command & Conquer, because you are playing that on a TV, so you are actually flipping through the channels.
Fair point.
PlayStation 1 is how a Command & Conquer is supposed to be played.
I kind of like that they have some, you know, sport references in there, because like, you know what? One of them is called Pro Skater, and I feel like we should actually post that character and just say, look, it's Tony Hawk, just to give another existential crisis to the guy. Everyone pointing at the bot. It's Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk in the corner. What about me? Yeah, they have a lot of stuff in there. But yeah. And obviously, in the same level, you find Ridge Racer and Gran Turismo. It's like, yeah, Ridge Racer.
My book,
But yeah, they just have so many. It's just great. Or how in one level you just find like multiple characters from Oddworld, and like, yeah, they know. They know.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like they did make another Oddworld game after what is like 15 years or something, but it didn't do that well, sadly, from what I heard.
Oh, by the way,
But like I've never played it, but like hey, I recognize that. Like I read about that back when I like religiously read a gaming magazine when I was in secondary school. I'd get it every month, and I'd read everything, like even the games that I would never play. I just read everything. It was fun. That was like there was a review in there for like I think the last Oddworld game that was released, but like way back when. So like, hey, know this. I am old.
probably. Yeah, I get that though. Also, obviously they have Soul from Guilty Gear, and I love that his description is quite a good guy when you get to know him. Again, they know what they did, you know? I read it to you, and you're like, yeah, it's like, they know. Or, you know, one of the best things I know, they had like another Japanese themed level, and the thing is, I was like, how will they handle some stuff? And I think sometimes they just do it the right way, because, you know, the protagonists from Nioh, Ghost of Tsushima, and Onimusha are all in one level, and you're like, yeah, that just makes sense, right? They should be together. You should be like, yeah, that's just kind of the point. Also, they have Space Channel 5 in that game. I know. I'm no weirdo again, but like Space Channel 5, holy fucking shit. It's so funny that Square Enix just apparently didn't hand out any of their licenses, because like, it is so funny how Astrobot 2 Degree is just like this big fucking parade of every of so many, just Japanese publishers. Like, so many Japanese publishers. Like there's a bunch of Sega stuff there. There's a bunch of, but ironically not. I don't think they have Sonic there. They're actually just putting the shit in there that was actually on, either the Dreamcast or the PlayStation. So they knew what to pick. So again, they laser focused us weirdos. But yeah, you look at it and it's like, there's Sega, there's a lot of Sega, there's a lot of Capcom, there's a bunch of Konami stuff, there is Namco Bandai stuff, and you just sit there being like, it is so funny that Square apparently was like, we won't give our IPs for that. Square, you lost. You lost out. You lost out hard. Seriously, we had the fun, we could see, it was just Space Channel 5. In a music level, obviously. And you know who you also collected in that music level? The box art characters from SingStar. Remember SingStar? Am I weird about this? Maybe, but that was kind of my childhood. I am allowed to be weird about this. But yeah. There's just some really fun stuff there. Oh yeah, obviously, from Sega, they also have Kiryu just standing around. There's a Kiryu bot and it's very cute.
Yes. Nobody will support my fucking independence. Why was everybody either wary or friendly towards Spain?
I think nobody likes Spain right now.
Yeah, like, I'm looking around and like everybody, for like request to support independence, everybody has a -1,000 modifier for either like wary or cautious. France is protective for some fucking reason.
Oh, by the way, remember Aibo, the robot dog they made in real life? That's also in the fucking game.
Yeah.
Both models. Just because. Just be fucking cause.
Because Sony. Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, remember that thing? And like, cool, you just unlocked nostalgia memories I didn't think I would have. Also, fucking Tokyo Jungle is in the game.
Yeah.
Tokyo Jungle. I mean, yes, I know. I know. Team Asobi is basically the modern Japan studios, but like, it is so fucking funny. Just be fucking cause. Hello, Cuffed Soft Girl. How are you? It's just like, it's just so funny that they have everything in there, you know? Like, Astrobot just did it right. Again, if they would release the Astrobots as actual as actual figurines, I would be weak. I would be very weak because they are really cute. They are really, really, really cute. Like, it's so funny that I'm like actually sitting here and be like, Sony, you have your own amiibo line, and you could actually differentiate it by the fact that, because this is the irony, the amiibos spawned because they basically imitated the figurines from Smash Brothers, but like the Astrobots are perfect for that.
Yeah.
Also, and this is like a personal thing. They should go and give Hideki Kamiya a lot of money. And then he should make an Astrobot game with the gameplay from Wonderful 101. Just saying, a lot of weirdos would be very happy about that. Also, you could be like, hey, maybe make a second team besides Team Asobi. Just saying. Also, how are you doing, Ghost of God? By the way, I got your message. Sure, depending on when and what. Because, I don't know when it is, and I am going to be away for a few days from tomorrow onwards. In actually 10 hours, I'm going to be on a train. So, that's that. Okay, time to actually... Again, why are there no Opium Wars?
Too much different stuff.
Okay. Oh, late October shouldn't be a problem. That should not be a problem. Ah, the 5th. Oh god. The October is full once again. Let's just put that in. That has nothing to do with you. It's just basically everyone most of my relatives have their birthday in October. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. And yearly reminder, perfect. Yeah. It's not. I mean, I think online. It's probably also more doable easily, honestly. So yeah, I know I would be down, no problem. It's not that I'm going anywhere anyway. It's like, how's it? Basically, most birthdays nowadays are just like, send a message like "Happy birthday," and like that's fine for most of it. I guess I'm helping my dad anyway renovating, so it's not that I need to go down for his birthday. Just not having like a big round number this time. But yeah, no, 5th, I noted, no problem. That shouldn't be a problem. How are you doing otherwise? I'm kind of working towards, I'm kind of failing at independence. How? It just, god damn it, I hate. Yeah, I want to become independent, so it's a bit harder. Okay. Nice. Bed rotting, good. We all need to bed rot sometimes. That's just vital. I will train rot today because I'm gonna be on a train for like 6 hours. So time to sleep there.
Actually, to be honest, I'm not feeling super well right now. Is it okay if I leave? Actually, is it okay if I had?
If you all want, we can maybe pause here and maybe just stream something small to end out because, again, I kind of need to get some sleep today anyway, so it probably is better anyway to do that. But sure, well, it was fun having you here.
Okay, bye. Have fun.
Night.
I feel better.
Yeah. Okay. What now? Let's save this game. Hopefully, it's able to save. Save.
Any ideas?
I mean, one of the things we still have is Space Marine 2.
But I don't think Lena has that.
Yes, that's a
Not
problem.
yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Ooh.
I do want to buy it, but I don't know when. But it is something that I will definitely eventually get. But like it's no time frame on that.
Big smash.
Future TM.
Yes. We need some.
Right now, I'm actually making a big move to Puppet Portugal.
Ooh.
Yeah, I puppet them. I conquered a small part at Zulu, so I can get a foothold, and I will transfer Egypt from whoever owns it right now, Russia. I think.
Holy shit! Yeah, but what? Stop! Leave something for us.
Yeah, va?
Can you just not bully the Great Qing for once?
I don't bully the Great Qing.
Yeah, she's
And
doing a
not
lot
right
of
now.
activity right now.
Also, I need revenge against the French Empire for getting Burma from me. That's still like.
That is actually understandable. That is
Yeah.
very understandable.
But right now,
It-
I just go to society tech to get more prestige and shit. And more influence, so that I can even afford all the subjects I have. Because if
Okay.
I
Now,
have not a pregnant collar, or however it's called, pregnant in English.
pregnant. No.
Not pregnant. See, that's what I meant. It's phonetically
Distinct. Distinct.
phonetically similar, different thing.
Oh, why did I just say that?
So what is pregnant in English though? Let's
Google.
Let's whip out the translator.
Deep L.
Concise.
Yeah,
Succinct. Incisive. Ah.
similar, but not what pregnant technically means. Like I don't have a like very bright color, so you don't see it as well. But if you can see where the Javanese market has expanded to,
Let me just check the market.
can't you just open the lens? It's way more space on the.
Yeah. Japanese market. Oh yeah, you have a lot of people in the okay.
Yes.
You have a lot of people in the Japanese market already.
Yes. And soon there will be Egypt in here. And since I'm friends with the Brits, this south part of the Russian market will be not having no market access anymore. It's also good. Yeah. That's the thing. And then maybe I'm getting Persia later.
I
The bit of
guess
Persia that's left.
that doesn't sound too bad. Okay. Problem is just, what are we going to do now? So I don't. It's the overlap now is a bit of a problem, because either again we could do some co-op, or we could do.
Any idea, Lena?
I'm looking at Steam right now. Well,
Yeah.
tangentially related. I just saw on like the news feed at the top this last Thursday a dev blog for Darktide. They're going to add a train level.
Oh, nice. Don't have Dark Tide.
Yeah, but it's a train level. God damn it!
Well, as you said, tangent.
Tangent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tangentially related.
I don't think Deadlock would be interesting for you.
I don't have that, and I'm
I mean,
not really
it's
like.
free, but yeah.
Mm, yeah. I also think it wouldn't be a very good idea to drag you into a game of Anne Bernard.
Probably not.
What
Not
is
this
that?
late.
What is that?
At the EU format.
EU4 fantasy
Yes.
mod. It's basically what if D&D was a grand strategy game.
So yeah,
It is
chat.
very good.
So what most of my D&D involvements always evolve into.
Yeah.
It always starts with a mining company.
Oh yeah, you did a lot of mining companies.
You can actually be an adventuring company. You can also be like a dwarven expeditionary company in the underground caverns under the mountains. They're trying to reclaim their homeland.
Ooh. Yeah, chat. Do you have any?
Also, the
idea?
elves fucked up everything.
Or is there like a preference?
Like
Space-
I played a bit of EU. I haven't played it in a while because I have so many other games. But I know the basics. Let's say. So I could play that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for this
We
short,
can do it sometime maybe. Yeah, we can do it sometime maybe, but not tonight.
yeah.
This is why I asked chat, like, any preference? More, like, the two things we have would be Space Marine 2, Deadlock.
We have Payday 2.
Fair. We have Payday 2.
That's co-op.
Yeah, chat, what would you love to see more? I don't know. We're currently brainstorming. Ow.
There's also... What's there? Dawn of War, but there are no more people, so we could make a 3 versus 3.
Are there many people now? Let me just check if this actually has gone up.
I haven't played Dawn of War in quite a while. I'm not very good at it, and I've barely
Doesn't
played Dawn of War 3.
matter. If you hold out 10 minutes, at least one enemy player is usually dead anyway.
Orcs,
orcs. I can be ablative armor, sure.
I mean, I guess we got 200 more people. It's around 600 people right now.
I'm looking at some other things. Like, I'm. If I have. I mean, the only EDF I have is 4.1, and we're currently on like EDF 6, so that's
I don't have EDF, sadly.
It is fun. It is like it is a deeply unserious game, but it is that's kind of what makes it fun. It is so cheesy, corny.
I know.
It's great. It's great.
It's just I never played it for some reason.
We talked about it. Helldivers is now apparently fun. I think the patch is already out, where they actually made
They buffed shit.
the other anti-material options viable and actually doing anti-material shit.
Yeah. I thought like the problem with that is I haven't played it in a while. I barely have any unlocks.
Same. Like, I haven't played it, but we have everything. We also have every achievement, so...
Yeah.
But there aren't that many. Like, we played it for, like, I think, a week or so. And then we were done with everything, and then they nerfed the railgun, and we were like, great, you nerfed after usage rate, fuck off, and we stopped playing.
Oh god. So okay, honestly, I will point this out, but like, you should never just look at your statistics and usage rate and then be like, okay, let me just put here. Helldivers
don't
2
be
was
like War Thunder.
Yeah, Helldivers and War Thunder changed their mentality as well. They're doing some good patches right now. Honestly, they're fixing their game, like since like a while ago.
They're still exploitative as shit, but
Well,
yes.
like possibly, but I'm still not going to go back to it. I've sworn that off forever. As much as I want to play it, sometimes I've been burned too many times by Gaijin.
We're playing it
I'm done.
sometimes, but we are not paying anything,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
We will never.
Yeah, the thing is just like it like again, if you just look at statistics and go by usage rate and then go into like, oh, this one is used too much. Okay, here's the thing. This is not how balancing works.
Yeah.
Like,
Honestly,
I
not
had-
even which weapon brings the most win percentage on missions in Helldivers 2, for example, would be a good indicator on its own what you should nerf.
yeah. And you know what the stupidest part is about this? That this was actually allowed to devolve into such a shitty culture war. Like, in hindsight, it feels so utterly stupid that this happened.
Only in hindsight, I found
Yeah, and
already.
it was already stupid back then, but like, I hope there might be a moment where, everyone just realized how stupid that actually was. Because the thing is, people were, frustrated with the patches. And, one side keeps screaming, that needs to be done to defeat the evil meta, which, was obviously not doing the thing. Then right-wingers latched onto, people being disgruntled for, a good reason. And the other side was like, look, the right-wingers are latching onto it, so they're obviously bad. And I just sit here being like, you could have avoided all of that if you just took 1 second to think about that. But you know what? Ironically, today it clicked for me. Because I was like, why is it always that, especially when it comes to like PvE games, that I'm always making predictions about, design changes and balances, that, if it gets, supported long enough and not, dies, it usually ends up being the thing that everyone likes and helps the game. And nowadays, today I actually made the connection. I've been doing this shit for 20 years. Like, you know how people always say GMing TTRPGs is game design? I always was like, I guess on paper. Today it kind of clicked to me. What?
Because it's pen and paper.
Oh, you know what? Why did you do that?
Sorry.
You had to, right?
Yeah.
You just had to. But the thing is, it clicked. Because for 20 years, I've been doing the same shit. Because here's the thing. I've been jamming, and no system is perfect. But one of the things I've been always doing is look how a system works, analyze the fundamental design strengths and where it wants to go, and then usually I adjust shit upwards, because that is what I found out is the best thing how you balance a game. Like, for example, if you for example would play, I think the best example is the most what I said is D&D 5th edition. There are a few things, obviously I would play generally like D&D is supposed to play, that's one of the obvious things, but like the actual balance changes are not that many that I would do. It's just, it's just like, oh hey, dual wielding sucks, but you can actually adjust a few things then, and adjust a few feats to, because there are just some feats that you don't really need then anymore. Or, you realize, hey, everyone is using that feat, for example, because, like, oh, hey, Great Weapon Master is just good, Because why wouldn't you take it if you have, like, how's it called, like, certain weapons? Because -10 to your roll, -5 to your roll, plus 10 to your attack is just...
Damage, not attack.
Plus 10 damage is just straight up good.
Yeah. Yeah, mandatory feats, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the obvious things I did was is like everyone has that.
At least that part of the feat.
And that part of the feat that you can decide, do you want to take a hit to your roll to do more damage?
As long as it's a weapon.
Yeah. As long as a weapon. Like, suddenly, yes, there's no feat text anymore, and people could say, but that makes every character stronger. Yes. But it's more fun, right? It's a fun decision. Because suddenly you don't need to think about it. It would be like, yeah, hey, I can decide, do I want to make a more high damage move or a normal move? One hits more, one does more damage. It's actually a decision. And the thing is, if you then start thinking about that, I always balance everything that, overall, yes, the strength of players increases. I can always just increase the, enemy numbers. I can always balance those upwards as well. That's not that hard. And that just clicked for me. Because every time I talk about, why Payday 2, for example, is, in my opinion, actually good balancing, like exemplary PvE balancing, in my opinion. I just suddenly made that connection of, yeah, I've been doing that shit. I am insufferable and spent 20 years of my life balancing games. And had fun doing it.
I have just so much random stuff.
What do you mean?
I'm looking at my Steam and looking at.
Oh.
I've got things organized by sort of rough category, and I'm looking at the category that they have multiplayer shooters, which isn't entirely accurate, but for me personally, it's fine. And there is just stuff in here that I've never played. Like Black Wake, which seemed interesting, but I've never installed it. Cryptarch, which I vaguely remember seeing the art for, which kind of looks 40k-esque, but also I have no idea. I don't even know if it's multiplayer
20
or not.
years of balancing Thanos would be brought. Hey Zeb, how are you doing? We're by the way, just so you know, we're kind of discussing what we maybe should do next because Ruben left a bit early, and we kind of just discussing what to maybe do next, if anything. So we're like, Space Marine, Deadlock, we don't know.
You know the unfortunate irony. I have never, and again another one of the many games in my pile of shame that I've never launched. I have Dirty Bomb.
Big pile of shame.
but yeah, you don't want.
It
you
is
don't want
really
to know.
good. I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
I was
know.
very insufferable. Yeah, it is so funny that this made me that this clicked to me nowadays today, because like, as I always keep saying, in Payday 2 they kept adding stuff, and yeah, you could say, if you compare to launch Payday 2 was arguably a harder game, but was it fun? Sure, to like a small group of weirdos like me, yes, it was kind of fun sitting in, the cook-off building and just getting hammered from all sides and screaming in hell because your armor is getting low.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. But overall, it was just like, yeah, they had problems, and then they started adding perks. And you're like, oh, but already the first perks like Rogue just made it really easy because suddenly dodge bills were strong. Yeah. I mean, nowadays we have stuff like Stoic, Leech, etc., where everyone who plays pretty well at the game would say, stop that, Zep. Stop taking shit out of context. Okay? I'm having it hard enough here. No! No! I don't.
Right.
But like, yeah, nowadays you could say, if you're pretty good at the game, stuff like Stoic or Leech, if you can know how to do it, yeah, they're pretty safe to finish to use OD on. Like, you can do that. I'd say some others, you still have like a lot of viable stuff because again, I for example have a sociopath sniper katana build. It's obviously it's not as safe as Stoic or Leech, but you can totally play that. There are crew chief, like Agonia has a crew chief build. That one's actually pretty good. Like, it's similar to Stoic, but like if you run it with crew chief, you still have good survivability and you buff the team. So that's also doable. You can also do it with Muscle if you wanted to, because Muscle is just crew chief for yourself. Like, the thing is, sure, you have in Payday 2, like, you have builds like that are safer and probably, easier to play, again, Stoic, Leech, etc. But like, the amount of builds that are perfectly viable to play in DSOD, they just require some, more knowledge of the game and skill, is pretty wide. Payday 2 is one of the few RPG games, especially online RPG co-op games, that actually has a good amount of build variety that has unique builds. Sure, you can say there's a lot of content that is not really viable that you don't use. Fair point. They could have probably balanced those a bit more, but for what we have, it's a lot that you can use.
Also, like it's there's a lot that's not really viable on the higher difficulties, but that is still like viable and fun on lower difficulties. And there's plenty of people who like who enjoy playing on the lower ones with the stuff. Like for me for a long, like when I started playing with you, I did switch like the meta builds and DSOD, but before then I would stick to sort of like the middle difficulties with my own little build that I cobbled together, and I also had fun.
Yeah.
So that's like
But,
it's player expression.
Yeah, that's also the thing that they did. They just kept adding things on top, because when they were like, okay, you know what, the current additions make shit too easy, they just added a new one. I think DSOD
You
is
mean a new difficulty?
a new
You
difficulty.
should actually say what you want to say, okay?
Okay, honestly, I forgot the word difficulty, and I just kept talking and hoping you all wouldn't notice.
I know.
We noticed.
Okay, but like, yeah, they just kept the thing is that, yes, you still have like a big range of stuff that you can use in DSOD. Like, honestly, for having like a difficulty that is actually still hard to play, even with meta builds, and having this big of a range of just builds and weapons still be viable. Again, still on a range from more safe to harder to play. It is still kind of impressive that the game pulled that off, but again, they didn't do it by, forcing stuff down to be like, oh, we don't go higher than overkill or difficulty. They just were like, we are going to adjust things so that they're fun, and if it's, if it's not hard enough, Just add a new difficulty, add some new enemies, just do more stuff, and that's how it worked upwards. Because, yeah, there will always be a power escalation in a video game. I think one of the there are two things you should never fight in a video game, in my opinion.
At least not in PvE.
At least not in PvE. PvP, it's a bit different, but not that much different in my opinion, but still. First off, there will always be a spreadsheet. If you want to fight the spreadsheet, you already lost. Then you're literally fighting the fact that some people will just take out your game for fun. Stupid idea. And second, there will be power escalation the longer you support your game. This will happen in every single game. If you're furiously try to contain the power escalation, you will also piss people off, because power escalation is fun. A lot of times. Like, again, sometimes, yes, there are edge cases where you just go, this thing is would be like they have so much room for increasing difficulty. This is why I said PvE games. And PvP, obviously a different point. I don't think we need to open that barrel. It's like kind of obvious.
You end with Instagip, which can be fun, but...
You would definitely end with Instagip, yeah. But then again, Instagip... Honestly, okay, fun fact, I actually really like Instagip in Quake. I played so much Instagip in Quake Live.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually played a lot of Instagip in Quake Live. That was really fun to play, honestly.
Nobody's playing Guns of Icarus, which is understandable, of course, but kind of a shame, because that was a like very fun, cool game.
Nah. But yeah, weird. Yeah, it's just like balancing upwards, especially in PvE games, is like the power escalation is the reason endless modes in PvE work so often. Yeah. It's like it's just a logical thing, because I think like if you come up with if you make something more powerful, it's more fun, and you can still adjust the enemies. That is always the case, because people just simply like using things that are powerful. There's not a big amount of people in the world that like things that are not powerful.
I mean, depending on the game, you can make a game where you like start out really weak and stuff.
That's kind of obvious, but yeah.
But, like most modern PvE games are basically a bit of leveling, but you should feel strong and stuff. That's normally the intention.
That is, yeah.
I mean, of course, there are people who like things that aren't powerful. They're called DOMs.
God damn it. But yeah, but like power escalation, if you fear power escalation and if you fear the spreadsheet, you kind of just signed your own failure. Because ironically, Payday 3 just ran into that. They feared, making armor, like Payday 2 so much. They wasted a whole fucking year. Had to process that DOM logic for a moment. You did it, Lena. But yeah, they basically wasted the whole year trying to stay on that, on that old system. But the thing is, the armor system Payday 3 right now is just not fun. It's just not fun. Yeah, the Payday 2 armor will be stronger, period. But who cares? Expand. They will add dodge. That will also make it stronger. Who cares? It's fun. You shouldn't fear the power escalation. Because what would you do if you just added weapons that are just worse? I mean, you have the last Payday 3 DLC where the shotgun just kind of sucks in an open map and you just sit there being like, why am I doing this?
Age of Empires, question mark?
Don't have that installed.
It's one of those RTS I don't even really like, because it's such a grind fest every time.
Okay. So yeah, chat, we still need some ideas on what to switch to, or you know what? If not, I'm just ending this here, okay? Like, it probably will be smarter for me to end it at 1 a.m, considering, again, in 9 hours I'm supposed to sit on a train.
I'm always seeing if I can drag people into Cursed Catan on Tabletop Simulator, but I think I don't know if you would like enjoy that sense
I
of
mean,
humor.
it sounds. I love Catan actually. I love it.
But Cursed Catan, I don't know.
It probably is good. So
I don't know. What is Cursed Catan?
It is a mod that somebody made, which is like it takes base Catan, obviously, but like it changes some things. It changes some graphics. It adds a bunch of stuff. In addition to like the 5 basic resources, you now also have concrete and coal, for instance, which have their own special purposes. The development cards are all changed. They all have this sort of like they'll have graphics of various levels of cursed. There is new buildings. You can upgrade towns to like a city or a factory. You can build forts. If everybody uses too much coal, the Great War starts.
that's actually kind of neat.
Doesn't sound cursed though.
Yeah.
Well, it's the graphics mostly. It's the that make it like and like so some of the development cards. Like one of the ways you can win in the rules is if you assemble all 5 pieces of Exodia.
Oh. You know what? No, I don't mind that. I would love to play that version. That sounds like the shit we would definitely have done as children. Oh. I can do
If
Risk
you
of Rain
have
2
Tabletop
if I'm
Simulator, I could show it to you.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind Risk of Rain 2 that much, but like I think personally I will actually end this year. Shorter stream. You know what? Zep, maybe Agonia wants to play a bit. Who knows?
After we showered.
Fuck yes, we need to do that. Okay, you know what? Zep, stay tuned. She probably wants to play Risk of Rain 2, but I probably won't. It's just she probably will play through the night anyway. It's just her way.
I wouldn't say I actively want anything right now, but if Zep is offering to play Risk of Rain 2, I would be playing Risk of Rain 2, definitely.
So you know what, everyone? It's a shorter stream today, but again, I have to be on a train tomorrow.
You need sleep.
Today, actually.
I need something. Yeah, I need to be on a train today. Yeah, so that was some Victoria 3. Hope you all had fun. Hope it was interesting. Next time we will do a lot more. Trust me, it's gonna be more. So yeah, see you all on... Well, Wednesday. Next Wednesday, let's say. I don't know if I will have time or feeling or anything on Sunday. I don't want to promise anything. I kind of want to stream. I don't know if I will. We'll see, okay? Have a wonderful time. See you all then. Goodbye.
Good night.
Bye.